Hey y'all, welcome back to Thirsty Therapy. John and I are happy to have you. John, how the hell are you, sir?
It is a beautiful week of weather here in Portland, Oregon. I'm doing pretty good.
It's hard not to, right? It's gorgeous. I'm not sure how it's affecting all the lighting. I tried my best to make everything work. We got a lot of light beaming in, but I want it, so we're gonna soak it up while we can, right?
Yeah, I wasn't about to close the blinds for this stream.
No, yeah. Glare be damned.
I might have to open the windows for next stream. It's pretty warm in the apartment, but maybe as we get more towards summer, you're gonna really hear the outside sounds come in.
Yeah, and you don't have AC in your apartment, do you?
I do, but I think that thing's pretty loud.
That'd almost be worse.
Yeah, I think you'll just have to hear the drag racers outside.
Right.
On my busy street.
Right. And only sometimes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm with you. I'm loving the fact that we're able to soak up all this great weather right now. 80 degrees, so it's super warm. I'm rocking short sleeves and shorts just for fun. A little skin there.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah! Why not? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. Although I couldn't go barefoot. I was barefoot for it. For some reason, it's the weirdest thing. Like, when it's something about having an apron on and being, and I don't know, I can do it in my kitchen, but like, as soon as I put an apron on to get back here, I'm like, I feel like I need shoes. I'm going to step on glass or something. You're
in shoes and socks?
Yeah. But I haven't been the entire rest of the day. I just had to make it happen now. You know, just because, yeah, it's just that weird, like, feels right when I'm bartending to have solid shoes on. Tarts. Thank goodness for summer. Happy summer. My 6-year-old was just asking, John, you know Zoe, she was just asking, she said, you know, when's summer start? And I was like, well, for us up here in the Pacific Northwest, this is it, baby. Like, we're pretty much here. But technically, I guess we got a month? Is it a month and a half? Is it June 1st that summer technically starts?
Sure. Like Tart said, it's a trap. There will be some rain this week. Some news about that it'll snow again. One more freak time. It won't. And then we'll have a freak, triple-digit day.
All before mid-June.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it'll just be on a steady...
The 4th of July is going to be really crappy.
Yeah, although we've had pretty good 4th of Julys. I feel like we've had, hot, but I love our 4th of Julys here. Everybody's out for the most part. I'm curious on how it's going to work out this year and whether or not I'm not sure if we're going to dive, right back into everything as far as the parks go, because it tends to get crowded, but it is one of my favorite celebratory times here for everyone in the community, especially like going out to Willamette Park along the river, John, or let's be honest, any park around the city. Everybody just gets out, starts lighting off fireworks, having a good time. Young, old, male, female, any ethnicity, there's nothing holding everyone back from just going out and trying to celebrate and have a good time in the middle of the summer.
Right.
And let's be honest, that's where we co-opt all of our holidays from anyway. We've always been celebrating these times of year throughout, history. It's a good time to celebrate, right? Summer solstice, beautiful time of year. And we get to talk about Negronis. As I watched Bree pouring some bright red Kool-Aid for the kids, it instantly kicked me right back into start thinking about these Negronis that we're talking about today.
Yeah, some bright red liquor.
Right?
Right, go for that.
Never really hurts. We have a few variations on that liquor, on that profile, on liqueur profile flavor, I suppose. But it always seems to bring us back to somewhere around red, right? Bree's laughing,
right.
But I'm thinking of like Grand Classico's like orangish red, and that's similar flavor profile to Campari. Kind of the idea of the precursor to Campari. Tempus Fugit, you know about them, right, John? We've talked about Tempus Fugit, haven't we?
Yes.
I really
remind us.
I really love that they have tried to take old recipes and revamp them. Pre-Prohibition era recipes of styles of liqueur that didn't exist, and then actually how they either imagined or how they found recipes for them for these old style liqueurs. Creme de Violette I've gotten from them, it's okay. Although you and I have done Rothman and Winter, which I appreciate more. I feel is truer to, but maybe it was just the only one left. That could be. But is it Creme de Noyette that is a similar? Are you familiar with that one? And everybody out there, I'm probably pronouncing it totally effing wrong, but because I do that a lot. But this is almost a mixture between Creme de Violette, I want to say currants, so it has a little like cassis in it, and there might be one other, or Creme de Noyette is what it is. I could ask Bree to check it out for us to see if Tempus Fusion has a list.
But for the Negronis tonight, we're going to be holding one ingredient constant, right? And that is Campari.
We're going to try sticking with that. Yeah.
Everything else kind of changes.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Some might argue that it isn't a Negroni without Campari, but I like all this experimentation.
Yeah, well, and not only that, let's be honest, Campari's just Campari to us. I'm not sure if it holds the same standards as far as everybody's concerned in Italy too, like where this was originated, right? Like I'm not sure that they necessarily go to Campari or a bitter gentian liqueur that is similar to this, like Capelli or Cappelletti.
Cappelletti.
I appreciate that. That it's the wine base. It's not being made with distilled alcohol. It's being made with a wine base. I'm just not sure. Anyway, I feel weird calling it a full standard.
But it makes for a nice Negroni.
Yeah, and it makes for a delicious sipper all by itself too. It's a little pulled back from the Campari, but not quite as much as Sue's like we did last week. And how?
Yes, we're balancing things out
since
Sue's kind of honed in on the gentian flavor, and Campari so much more. Love it in everything.
Right, we get our blood orange. Well, tell us a little bit about it, John. I know you've been doing a little bit of looking into how the Negroni started and all those things. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I like the story. To understand the Negroni, in my opinion, you have to understand two prior Italian cocktails, the Milano Torino and the Americano. Let's go through these in order. Milano Torino is Italian. Again, we're talking aperitivos, Italian bitter drinks that can be drank in this, actually right about now, this kind of golden hour as the sun goes down before going into a meal, or any time really. Who doesn't like a Negroni anytime? But the Milano Torino is just Campari and sweet vermouth, named for Campari, which is from Milan, and vermouth, which was made in Torino. So just those two in equal parts for maybe switch up the ratios to your taste. It's a fun little cocktail to try, 2-ingredient cocktail. American, this is the story. Why is it called Americano? Why does American keep getting, injected into, it's in a, a particular way to prepare Italian coffee too. Americano's cocktail is not coffee. It's just these two again, plus soda water. So I'm thinking it's these Americans who visited Italy and, didn't understand these strange flavors that Italians would drink and make in their villages all the time, just even on their own. And of course, Americans say, "Can I get that watered down?" Just like with coffee, it's Italian espresso lengthened with hot water.
That's what I would have thought.
So, Americano, funny reputation us Americans have. Nevertheless, even the Italian is common with Italians as well. So that leads us to the Negroni, which I have to pull up the man's name. Is named after Pascal Oliver Count de Negroni, probably butchering the Italian pronunciation there. So a Count Negroni who liked the Americano, but asked his bartender to give it a little more punch, replace the soda water with gin. Equal parts, and the Negroni was born in 1919. That's the primary story. There's conflicting reports of that. There's even some people saying that he actually wasn't a count.
Just some asshole named Negroni. Hey, I love him for it. I don't care.
Conflicting stories about this. Yeah. Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. I have something here. This is just reading for the Wikipedia. Descendants of Pascal Oliver say he was the Count Negroni who invented the drink. In 1857, so a totally different year. And then someone else said 1914, and there was something about.
How old was this guy?
There was a count in his family. I can't spot. But
so like my
brother's
second cousin was a count. So.
May have been father, grandfather, right. Great-grandfather. A little more direct.
Damn it, I'm supposed to be a count. They didn't blow that whole inheritance. I would have been a count. I'm going to put it on my Negroni. Well, he came up with a great drink. Thank goodness. One way or another. And let's be honest. I suppose if he had the bartender make him up this drink and the bartender was willing to tell everybody about it and it caught on that way, it had to have some sort of, even if it was slightly embellished, it had to have some sort of, I was going to say pull to nostalgia, but more just a pull to fame to get people attracted, I suppose. Whether I like to admit that or not. We like those, we like that idolized portion of it. Oh, well, not only he wasn't just like us, he was a count even, and he really liked this. Oh shit, even I like this. This is amazing. It's funny how our
that legend of other people's drinking. Yes.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Even more a fun fact: Lucif has never had a Negroni. I'm hoping they have all the components to follow along with us tonight, because this is going to be a new experiment for them. And for some, I mean, not a lot. I feel like it's becoming more mainstream. But let's be honest, John. We as Americans and our palates have really opened up to more bitter things in the last, I really want to say the last 20 to 30 years, if we're lucky, maybe even 10 to 20 years. Whether it be things like kombucha, kimchi, all different types of fermented and bitter flavors, to now bartenders trying to push. I mean, I've been trying to do it as well, John. I try and sneak these flavors in because they're complementary. Sometimes the bittering agent can make up for or mask the need for citrus in some of these drinks, where you can get... in fact, we have a cocktail, the Amethyst cocktail that we're going to do for our sake night, uses it was a slight take on an aviation in a way, because it uses creme de violette, I was insistent on not putting any lemon in it, and instead you can use bittering agents to make that balance that you need, because you still need that bitter tart, those flavors that are in there for a cohesive cocktail. But it's fun that we have these bittering agents, and we brought so many more in. You should see the liquor stores now and how the plethora of different kinds they have. Even you and I were just talking about, and I almost picked it up this week, but with me moving, I'm trying not to move too many bottles. But what was the Amaro Chiacharo that I had, and you were using Amaro? What was yours?
Lucano.
Lucano.
Just the explosion of available Amari in America. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Who would think that would sell here? I think you nailed it. The tastes have been changing.
Yeah. Well, and we've been pushing. All of us bartenders trying to like really expand people's flavor palettes, because you can nudge people in a tasteful way and get them to open up and be a little bit more to it. It's also not putting it right in front of them with ice. You know what I mean? Like, here's a big glass of Campari on ice. Like, oh, you can't handle that? Wow, you're never going to be. You know, like, making it approachable for people and easing them into it really, really helps. It's kind of like spice, I feel like. You warm up to it.
Right. So speaking of easing people into it, Shark Chart's mentioning, can we have a Suze Negroni? Is that the opposite of easing people into it?
No, we can absolutely have a Suze Negroni. We could riff one out we could riff one out if we have time tonight. Do we still have Suze around? Let's get through what we got.
It wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be too, powerful or focused or imbalanced.
No, not if we did it right.
You can do it.
It's a similar, because in my mind it's similar to a white Negroni. And I've actually had some people I've had a bartender make me a white Negroni with Suze instead, which I still wouldn't consider a white Negroni, because you can get those flavors.
What is a white Negroni?
It is replacing, so you're using a Blanc vermouth, still a sweet vermouth, and gin, botanical gin, and I personally would say, oh, I'm totally going to fuck it up now. You know I would. I'm going to forget. There is a French aperitivo that comes to mind right off the bat. It's lightly grassy, and it's like lemongrass, but also like grassy and bright. Has a little bit of lavender to it. That is a bittering agent that's been around for a long time. Let's see, Luxardo makes a Blanc, basically a Blanc bitter, which tastes really, really close to Campari with absolutely no color to it. And then the last thing I would say is from here in town, it's a product that I love, and it's that same bittering product that I told you about, that I use in the Amethyst cocktail, and that is Cascadia Bitter Liqueur from New Deal. If anyone hasn't tried it, please check it out. It has a great flavor profile. It uses gentian, a good amount of gentian. In fact, it's got a beautiful full color gentian flower on the label. Last time I was in there, I bought 3 bottles, because that's how much, I was like, just in case they change it, I want to have it around. It's got a great lavender backbone, but there's a lot more out there, John, than you realize, or than anybody realizes, to be able to make that happen. And a lot of times, and you're still using an orange, so your flavor profile's there. It's just a little bit lighter. You don't have that blood orange flavor, I guess, in there as much.
Cool.
Costume count.
So this kind of gets at hints at our names on this show. The 3 components. Exactly. Of the basic Negroni: the aromatized wine, the bittering agent, and then the spirit. It's the third. Right.
Because it doesn't have to be Campari.
So it's interesting how you could just kind of swap out those different brands. Have something else, another brand play the role.
Right. Now, Campari won't tell you that, because they created Negroni Week and had that as being a thing, right?
Oh yeah, they want you to hold Campari.
Right, you have to. That's got to be your thing. But everybody has to know that it's kind of like an old fashioned how you build it or a Manhattan. It doesn't necessarily matter your vermouth. It doesn't matter your bourbon or whiskey. Yeah.
Right.
Let's get started. You ready to try one?
I am ready.
Cool. All right. So we're gonna go with classic first. based on Count Negroni, right? So with that, John, you and I were talking. We're even going to do a little bit different than most people have seen at your local bar. Right, John? Do you want to tell this part since you? Please.
Oh yeah, one other thing from Wikipedia. You know, it says citation needed, but you know, you told me this first that in Italy, the drink is traditionally served with an orange slice.
Yeah.
And everywhere I've had it here in America, orange peel.
Us contemporary bars were like that, right?
Well, let's try it both ways tonight.
So for the first one, John's right. I mean, everybody else, I suppose people don't want to have a lot of orange slices sitting around or necessarily take the time to do it. You get a lot of the flavor with the peel. But I like this. I mean, for my personal Negronis, most of the time I'll put a orange slice because I save my peels. That's the other part. You know me, John, I'm always about like trying to do as little waste as I can. So there's a big part of that is I'll use my peels for old fashions or other cocktails that I'm having. And then I take a nice, even if it doesn't have a peel on it, I don't care. I take a nice wedge right out of that same peeled orange and put that right in my Negronis. It gives me the flavor that I need and lets me utilize without letting that orange go bad. Lets me utilize all that great product. And now, before I fall over my words anymore, and I gotta say how phallic your Campari is looking with your oranges behind it. I can't get over that right now. Yeah, exactly. Apparently that drink is ready to go. Let's get that started.
God damn it, Billy.
Alright, so let's start, John. Let's build these in the Yari. Let's chill them down first. We'll put them on pretty ice. So we're still going to do them pretty much similar style to these, you know, how we do it in the restaurants currently, or we did a year ago. Rather than building them in the glass, which I've heard was the original way to do it. We'll do it this way and get you to where we need to go. Let's get started by putting ice in the Yari first. And this is another one of those weird things that I heard years ago that make perfect sense to me. And this is basing it around why the science behind building your Negroni in the glass. We're going to base it off the same thing.
Crazy.
Alright, so I'm going to go about halfway up into my Yari with ice. That's all we need. And then the first spirit that I'm going to start with, let's get this over here before it falls. My cheeky little... We're going to start with the Campari. So the idea of, and this is going to be a 1-to-1, 1-1-1 ounce cocktail, exactly how it's supposed to be. Ratios should just be simple like that for you. But start with the Campari first. We're going to go 1 full ounce. Make sure you hit that meniscus if you're using a jigger. That bubble. Oh, that goes right down my hand. Hey, at least I know I had enough in there, right? We have the Campari first because the idea with building it like this, John, is that you're already starting to aerate and mellow out that Campari for everybody. Everyone knows it's a very hard spirit, even those of us that love it. So why not give it that little extra push? Tonight's classic Negroni is going with Aria Dry Gin. So we are using a local gin that we love so much. It's got a great botanical blend to it. It's a little bit more than a London Dry, but a little bit less than an old school like barrel-aged gin. So I think it's going to hit us right around where we want to be for a good classic flavor. We're going to go another full ounce of that right on top. Hopefully, I can still chase these bottles by the end. Spin it. By the time I get to the last drink, I'm like, oh wait. Just knock them all off. Alright, and then we're going to go 1 full ounce of sweet vermouth. And we're just going Dolan tonight, John. We're going to go a nice classic Italian vermouth. Well done. Oh no, I'm sorry, French.
So you can really switch up the flavors here by swapping out sweet vermouth for another brand. I think Dolan is pretty common. Get it in most grocery stores, right? Doesn't even have to be a liquor store.
And there's also not too many other flavors, so you can still pick up the flavor of the Aria and the particular flavors of the Campari as well. I'd say, like, if you went with Coqui, John, I know you and I both love the Coqui di Torino, and that would be, if I would have had that actually probably would have got us closer to the classic, right? Especially with that Torino Milano history that we have, that you brought to us. I'm going to start stirring while we're talking. Do you mind grabbing me those BFCs, Brick? And as I'm stirring, like, that could have, yeah, maybe that would have been more, but remember that you're going to get a lot more vanilla and deeper, richer flavors with the Coqui di Torino. Vermouth di Torino. VDT. What? You can just bring them all over. I'll get them. This doesn't need to be stirred down too much, and we're only going a single. Kind of let it go, so I'm going to hit it right there. Make that my stopping point. And as classic as we can get, I'm going to go square cube. All right. Let's see if we can pull it back. Can you get that in camera?
Yeah.
Great ribbon.
Oh, I missed glassware, rocks glass.
We're gonna go rocks glass BFC, John. Gotta go as classic as we can. Oh, the BFC just cracked. I should have poured a little bit slower. Sometimes I just get a little impatient. Plus, they're not perfect, but John, I had such a good time taking that picture for our Instagram post. And I know we had like a burst, because these aren't perfectly clear cubes. Because I didn't take the time to make perfectly clear cubes. But the bursts that are in them are really fun. I'm actually liking the texture that they show. To me, it looks like a firework almost. That's beautiful.
Yeah, look at this.
So when you say it cracked, it must mean some gases must have escaped in it, some bubble that was in it.
Well, here, let me put it up. Actually, I want to take these down anyway.
So like the surface cracked and it's no longer a perfect
No,
cube.
actually, it's still a perfect cube. Like, it almost cracks on the inside. Depending on how fast, sometimes that'll happen too, but depending on how warm your product is and how fast you're pouring it on the BFC, then it can split like that and almost break apart. This one just cracked on the inside right around, and actually, it would make for a really cool picture, I won't lie, if I could get it right here from this angle. I'm going to hold it like that because it looks freaking awesome. Wait, it's going to come back around. But basically what happened was all those gases that you were talking about got stuck inside the cube, John, and right when we were pouring everything on, it cracked just along the outside of the gases. So it almost looks like a sphere inside the cube right about now. Which could be worse, right? All right, for this classic, as that one's spinning around, I'm going to get a nice slice of orange. I'm going to go straight down. I'm going to go one more, though, and take off as much juice as I can because that one's been sitting out. And then I'm going to give it one more little slice right across. I only need a pretty half of an orange for this.
So you're doing a wedge?
I'm going to do a little wedge, and I'm still going to do a little extra oil on top. I'm going to loosen that wedge. I don't mind if a little juice drips off. Oh man, I should have put it on the not so pretty side that we were talking about though.
Another cube.
There we go. Coming around. And then John, even for the wedge one, I'm still going to take a little bit of peel because I really, really want that orange oil on top. And remember everybody, we're going to kind of go at an angle when we're taking our peels off. That was like the worst angle. But you're going to go top to side so you can get one a little bit longer. It gives you a little bit more to work with. We're going to express what we can. And then we're going to trim it to make it pretty.
All right, John, show us what you're doing.
I gave it some curves. Got a little bit longer. Right, it's going to curve around, right?
Woo, beautiful.
But this one we're using just for the oil?
Just for the oil. I still trimmed it up to set it aside because it's Have it.
We didn't need to trim this one.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Sometimes I just get in the zone.
Anyway.
But we will. Don't worry. For the next two, we're going to do huge, big peels. Just like that one. All right, ready to taste this one?
Mm-hmm.
Bree's ready.
John's hands. So.
John's hands look good. All right, John. Cheers.
Cheers. Fantastic.
Hard to get it wrong, right?
All right, Lucif, we need to know if you made one.
Yeah, tell us about it, Lucif. I'm hoping, especially if you followed along and did the Campari first, too. For your first introduction, it's going to be a little bit more. John, do you pick up on that, by the way? For someone,
I agree. I agree. The fact that we were icing the Campari from the start and everything from the start rather than adding ice at the end, it starts out more mellow. Otherwise, I find this with a lot of Negronis. I like Campari, so I don't mind that it hits so strong first, but the first thing you notice is the Campari.
Right.
And then the drink gets a little bit better as it melts over the big cube.
And
this is good from the start.
Right, right. And you and I build towards that, and sometimes we appreciate the different layers of flavor when it comes to that. But I do know that if anybody's starting off, that's the scare away point for them.
Right.
This you almost talk people through. Remember, it's managing. What we're doing is managing people's expectations too, and helping them through the what they're experiencing.
So Lucif says it's more bitter than you expected, but you did Campari first, too, right?
Yeah, we did Campari first. No, it is. It's still refreshing. You're right, Lucif. But I get that it's more bitter than you expected for the.
So it's an aperitif, right?
Yes.
Typically. So is the bitterness what makes your is that what's making your kind of?
Yeah. So this is a part of the digestive process that has been for these very food-centric and high. I'd say high, not caloric, but high carbohydrates that you find in Italy as much as you do. Like, this is a great way to help you start your process. So the idea of a Negroni originally is to start drinking it and sipping it as just before you start making dinner. It starts the acids going in your stomach, gets you ready to start digesting some bigger, heavier things, and then you can eat, and then you finish with a digestif that kind of is even more botanicals and bitters, and then in that there's a little more mint and some other things that kind of mellow out. It makes sense to me. It makes sense, the layering. I don't know if it necessarily is scientifically proven, but logically I can see how it's been around for thousands of years, helping people get through their diets.
And the Italians are doing something right.
They seem to do okay, live longevity-wise, right?
Yeah, who doesn't like Italy?
Right, right.
Exactly. They have one of the oldest populations in the world. But I don't know if that's because young people move out or because they live longer.
Oh yeah, I wonder. That's funny. You said that, John. It is a beautiful place. Could you hear what Bree said? Oh, my parents.
Yeah, about the old versus young population.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know. I'm a software developer, and I knew I had a teammate who had to move out of Italy because there were no jobs there. She moved to London. That's a big tech hub, and I could see, I could see that, wanting to get out and make something of yourself in your career. But ultimately, I just want to retire and go get fat in Italy.
Right, right.
Yeah, so
I'd be okay with making pasta and just, tiny little
this
place.
is new data, but this is from 2018. We've all lost time because of COVID, we know that. But, Italy's life expectancy is like 83, and the United States is like 78 in 2018. So they're like 5 years. They live about 5 years
longer
on average. Longer than
I suppose the closer, but then you have the Mediterranean diet like sliding into the closer you get to the Mediterranean, right? I mean, like that side, similar to Greece and interesting to think about, John. I wonder. Well, and then like we were just talking to Tate about Malta. What a cool place that sounds like. Right off in between the tip of Italy, the boot of Italy in northern Africa.
Mm-hmm. What's the deal there?
An amalgamation of people and fortresses and different things that have been there for years, and it seems. I don't know. It seems like a beautiful spot. I think it'd be a great place for B&B's B&B.
It totally would.
You're planning to move there. You're planning to
I have no idea.
Colonize Malta.
We move lots of places in our minds.
Right. I'm up for many places in my head.
Mm.
No, but all places I'd like to visit in the next little while and see what the world has. See how these places have gotten along.
Lucif name dropped another good cocktail, two ingredient cocktail, Campari and OJ.
Tell me more. What's the name of that one, John? I'm not.
Gibraltar.
The Gibraltar.
That's what I've heard it called.
Okay.
And it is actually a really good combination. I know I have a weird association with like vodka and orange juice or gin and orange juice, but Campari and orange juice is amazing.
I can see that.
It reminds me, you put this orange slice, wedge, whatever, in here. I forgot if you said this. You taught me this trick that if it was a little too much for you, you could always squeeze a few drops of orange juice in there, mellow it out.
Yeah. No, and you're 100% right. That is the nice trick to the whole thing. So that's another thing for you, Yusuf. It's
meant to go together.
It's an easy thing, to squeeze that down and get a little bit out, a little bit of that orange juice out to mellow everything out. Never knew the name. It is gorgeous. I can see how that's a beautiful color. Oh, Malta's gorgeous, or the Campari and orange juice, the Gibraltar. Help us out, Lucif, because I thought for sure we were talking about. In fact, John, all of a sudden in my head, I just was like, what if we could do a slushy we did a Campari slushy on one side and a orange juice slushy and mix them together.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. I think I got the... Not Gibraltar. I totally got it wrong.
What's the name then?
You're right.
Garibaldi.
Oh man, does that not fit it a little bit better? Reminds me of an old PE coach. Yeah. I think I had a Mr. Garibaldi.
Is that that's Italian? That's because that's an Italian name, right?
It?
Yeah, it is. I had a friend.
Well, more than Gibraltar. Gibraltar being off the coast of Spain.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I want the Campari slushy. Did you already pack the ice cream maker?
Right.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think we can do it. Who was it that had a Negroni slushy with grapefruit? Was that Morgenthaler?
I think JJ might have made it.
I don't think it had grapefruit. But yeah, Jeffrey Morgenthaler, based here in Portland, Oregon, he published on his website a Negroni slushy recipe, which is great. It adds a little extra sugar.
Oh, that's
right. Like the original cocktail does not call for sugar, but he says otherwise the whole thing gets lost in the slushy ice. And I think it also calls for some straight orange juice, even though the original Negroni does not call for it.
That makes sense. Well, and the sugar, John, as I've found out in my years of not having enough experience with slushies, but actually trying to dabble, it got me I'm not going to go there right now. A sugar measuring device. A spectrometer, that's what it was. Because you have to have a specific, at least a specific ratio of sugar to water to everything else. to actually make the slushy work. And I love that. That's what's kept me doing this for as long as I have. There's so much science and so much, you know, we're not just getting you stupid drunk. We're, you know, actually making cool mixes of things that take a little bit more to put together. Grown up snow cone time.
Yeah. Lucif has the Jelly Belly, the same snow cone maker. She's
oh
like,
my god, I love it. Oh, we gotta do it. John, we can make some fun syrups, right? Adult syrups.
Yeah. Remember, like, Costco
So we've
had,
got
like,
our
adult otter pops last year, like margarita.
Sorry, what?
We could make it way better than that.
We're gonna add that to the queue. The adult snow cone otter pop, whatever episode.
Snow cones.
Grown up Jello shots.
Do you know what I wanted to do when I was at a furry so bad, John? I went and found that you could get refillable push pop containers. And I wanted so badly to come up with a push pop that I could do at...
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I found them. They were super cheap and it was going to work. Like I found those, like how to push it out, but it never came to fruition. But the idea that you could like have a boozy push pop is just too fucking
All right,
fun.
we're doing that this summer.
We'll see. Hey, maybe we'll be bringing that to you out of if we ever get the dream
Tartrix has the
dream mercantile going. All right, well then we're making at least we're making them for a house party for us, if nothing else. Stand by for what more we can do after that once we sober up. Oh, all right, yes.
So is your appetite stimulated?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm starving now. I have to get a snack.
I know.
Oh, I always have 3 Negronis before dinner.
That's
we have
perfect.
At least 2.
Yeah, we're usually okay. But I always have at least 5 ounces of tequila before we start every stream too.
But the
so
fifth
like,
one. Tell them about the 5th one though. What do you do to make your 5th tequila of the night special, Billy?
Oh, that's my 5th tequila when I'm drinking like 4 ounces of tequila at a time, and I have 5 of those in a night. The last one we'll talk about later in After Hours, John.
Okay.
It's a whole secret, fun little. Bree just found out that I've been like
no, I heard
doing
you,
this to myself.
but I didn't know. Like I heard the spray, but I didn't know what was happening. Okay, anyways, move
Should
on.
we just tell you now?
No.
It's Recruit Lime Tincture. That like if I've had, because I really, really just love drinking tequila, room temperature,
Mama juice.
all by itself.
You know.
Just, I don't know why. For some reason it can just go down smoother than water. But after I've had a few of them, sometimes I want to like brighten it up, and a little Recruit Lime Tincture that I love making from the leaves and the peel of it. All of a sudden, it's like tropical, John. It's like just brightened it up. It's not quite margarita, and it's not. It doesn't add juice to it, but it adds like a nice, layer of flavor. Have I ever shared that Recruit Lime Tincture with you?
I don't think so. We were going to use it for a custom recipe a while back, but it didn't come through. So you're going to have to give me that right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you right now.
We need to
but
do
I'll give
that
it to you.
tube to John's
I know
house.
we do. Like,
That'd be amazing.
what if we could just reach through and be like, I reach over this way, and like suddenly, and then John just grabs it? That'd be the shit.
I think, I mean,
Some
knock
movie
on wood
magic?
that, with vaccinations, we can move more freely between each other, but if not, the U.S. seriously has to invest in pneumatic tubes.
Yes. We need.
Let's
pneumatic.
get back to
travel.
vacuum systems, folks. Come on, Tesla.
Especially for human travel, right?
Yes,
Right,
absolutely.
travel. That's perfect. Yeah, well, I promise I'll get you some because I love the fact that these the leaves have so much, not only so much botanicals and lime flavor, but they have a good amount of sugar in them, and that transfers and extracts out into the alcohol. So there's a light like sweetness on your palate just from some Recruit lime leaves. Very Alice in Wonderland. Don't worry, it gets worse. Just wait. We haven't even had the magic mushrooms of the night. I'm just kidding. Let's at least get on to the next Negroni, though, right, John?
Yes. What is this? Negroni number 2. What's the deal with that?
Man, Navy straight in. Nobody told me about this. Sorry.
I totally
I was
did that.
not made aware of
I
it.
did that on purpose, John. She did not do well after our Navy Strength martini night. I don't know if anybody remembers that night or not. If you were lucky enough to...
It's too bad because that's my single favorite gin.
Right, hands down. That's why this is...
It's so tasty. But yes, this drink will be, 15% stronger than the last drink?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe even a little bit more. Almost,
Or
yeah,
what
like
is that?
17% more than the last one, I think. Because isn't the last one at 40 exactly? Oh, no, 45. You're right. Sir, you're at 12%. I'm impressed. Well done. Okay, so, yeah, let's... Oh, I'm sorry.
But remember, it only comprises 1/3 of the volume, roughly. So, I don't know. I feel like there might be additional math there.
Oh, I got you.
I'm not doing math.
Breeze,
I'm
Breeze
just,
says she's off
I'm
for
just
the day.
finger in the wind here. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Okay.
Yes. Target charts, if you don't have Navy Strength, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can just do a 1-to-1. The idea with this one is actually, this is kind of my funner take that I do usually when I want more alcohol, because most of the time I want more alcohol. And this...
Yeah, a Negroni, by the way, it just the classic recipe is actually less alcohol than, say, an old-fashioned or a martini.
Correct. It should be 1-to-1-to-1, and so the you have a lot less spirit than you do the liqueur and the vermouth, right, John?
Yeah. Yeah, where you would have 2 full ounces of whiskey. Yeah.
So the reason
Or
for
whatever.
the reason for this is the smoothness of this particular Navy Strength gin, and that you can like sneak in a lot more punch with it. And I used to make this for, let's see, if Carly and Sergio are out there tuning in tonight. Yeah, this is kind of their favorite take on a classic style Negroni, where I just twist it up just a little bit based on their preference of flavors, and still trying to stick with the classics and make it something that they can remake. And they always used to tell me they love remaking it with their friends. So again, as a bartender, we love trying to, especially for people that we connect with and have a great time, we love trying to tweak these things to make them work for you. John, you and I have talked about how many different ways that we've tried to, or that I've tried throughout the years to bring people into the fold or kick them out of their comfort zone just by in the most tasteful way. And we talked about it earlier. So this is another one of those ways where we make it a little bit stronger, a little more flavorful. So let's get started. This one we're not going to put the ice in right away because we're not going to go classic style. We want it to be a little bit stronger, and we're going to add some more flavors to it. We're still going to start with the Campari, and that's the most important part. It's just easier to stick with that order for me. Once I started learning it that way and starting with Campari, I always do it that way to help me stay in that. Otherwise, it's too hard to flip your brain to remembering that this is that particular way for that day.
Okay. 1 ounce Campari.
1 ounce Campari.
Constant in all of today's recipes.
Making it easy, right? Hopefully they all look just...
But no ice.
No ice, not yet. We're going to put the ice in after.
Not yet. Not yet.
Patience.
Alright, so let's go with our Navy Strength gin next. Oh, or vermouth. What do we have up next?
I
Sorry,
don't know.
Dolan vermouth.
Whatever you want. I was coughing at this.
Will you do me a favor? I did forget to get the Carpano Antica out of the fridge. Will you grab that for me? So this one is going to be a little bit, just a little hint of difference. We're going to do Dolan for the for 3/4 of an ounce, John, and then we're going to do Carpano Antica for the last 1/4 of an ounce. The reason we're doing that
What's
is
the deal there? Why you're blending vermouth?
I know, you know me, always getting weird with stuff, right? Well, we wanted to make it a little more rich, but we didn't want to, again, thank you. Again, we're working with a really, really approachable, strong but soft gin with the Plymouth. So I didn't want to overpower it, but I wanted a little bit more vanilla for that. And a little bit richer of flavor. So we went 1/4 of an ounce of the Carpano Antica to get that. Again, if we went with...
Carpano Antica...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Uh-oh.
Sorry. Drop there. Go ahead.
Where was I? It's with the Carpano Antica... I don't remember. That's okay. Yeah, so we got just a little bit of that vanilla flavor, a little bit more of that richness to kind of balance out against the Navy strength. Gin, we're still going to go
Again, these are two sweet vermouths. One is more commonly available, and the Carpano Antica is more, higher end?
Yeah. Although you can get it at Costco, so it's like that. Like it's still approachable and easy to find. The idea is that it's still being made with the same 1786 formula. And I'd say a lot more like Cocchi Vitorino, Vermouth de Torino that you have. They're a lot more fortified with their spice blends and their and the vanilla flavors and the richness that they have, rather than the Dolan is yeah, it's a much more mild, softer, approachable for those that don't like a lot of bold flavor, and it's not as sweet as well. I'll say that. I think with the richness, they get a little bit more sweetness to them, a little slightly more syrupy, but I appreciate what they do. So I think, let's see, we have 111, we have everything we need in, except for we're going to do 2 dashes of orange bitters in this one, John. And so for yours, you're going to do 4.
From my tiny dasher bottle.
From your tiny dasher, because your dasher tip is a little bit smaller than mine, that's right. And now we're going to add our...
So we have this bitter drink, and we're adding bitters?
Yeah, well, we're adding a brightness because we want to really make this orange stand out. We're working with some of these extra botanicals that we already have in there. And again, now we wouldn't do this, oh, that's what I was going to say earlier. We wouldn't be doing this, let's say, if we were using an Aviation or a Vivacity native gin in particular. I'd say Aria would still hold up with this, but any of those 2 big botanicals they'd almost fight and compete with the botanicals that we're adding with the vermouths and with the bittering agents. So that's why we can do it, because we're using this fantastic Plymouth. And while it's a delicious gin, it's also so soft, and I got to describe it in a different way, John. Help me out. How would you describe, other than soft and approachable, smooth and delicious? What do you? The 4. What do you got? Anything more than that? Dropper to a dasher, well, I'd say 2 full pulls. Sorry for Lucif out there. 1 full...
All good. I got nothing. Only that it is hotter, it's more alcoholic, but it's somehow still really good. Go get this gin.
Yeah. Give it a shot. It's not... Yeah, and you don't get the same dry bite or botanical or juniper bite that you're going to get from, let's see, Beefeater or... Tanqueray if you're adding a little bit more citrus to the whole thing, because Tanqueray has a little more citrus take than Beefeater. But yeah, Lucif, hopefully that helps. 2 droppers should get you there, unless you're using 2 large droppers. But again, these flavors, they're going to blend in enough that it should taste fine. It shouldn't be too overpowering either way. Let's move on now. Let's add our ice that we were talking about, John. Because again, we don't mind this one being a little bit stronger. We've got a lot of strong flavors going, but we're also going to make sure that we ice it down and get a full 30 seconds stir on there. So I'm going to get started right now while John gets his ice. And remember, we don't want to be hesitant or quick with our dilution rate when we're stirring this down either, because we're using that Navy strength gin. Or if any of you went with 1.5 ounces, another great thing to use. Another great reason to dilute a little bit longer. I'm almost there. And John, since this is a fun little take for me, if I had this sweet ass glass for Carly and Sergio back in the day, I would have used it. But
what is that, a footed something?
Pimp cup? I don't really know what I'm working with. I knew I had a cube that would fit in it really well, and I thought it'd be fun and pretty. It's kind of an old 70s, 60s or 70s, like, hopefully not leaded glass.
We're gonna have to put it on the spinner because it kind of blends.
Oh yeah, here. We'll put it. That's actually why I picked the spinner that we have tonight, so that everybody could pick everything up on it. I'm gonna not double strain. I just stirred it. I'm gonna single strain this out and get a nice big.
You're using a weird glass. I'm gonna use a weird glass too.
What do you got?
Sorry, keep going. You'll see.
Okay. Well, everybody, remember too. I'm trying to take cool pictures for building our Instagram and talking a little bit more about the cocktails that we're trying to make, the innovations that we're trying to do, as well as the classics. And with that, I know I'm not. There are so many talented bartenders that are out there. High Proof Preacher, I'm looking at you. I know you're not following a stream right now because you got probably thousands of other things to do. But there are so many great photographers out there that are really great at photography, John. And I have a little bit of fun with it, but I figured if I got some cool glassware, that could really make it easier to make some stunning pictures to visually inspire everybody that joins us. So I hope this one fits in.
Totally.
I'm gonna put some John's glass.
Hey, the appearance is a big part of cocktail culture.
But it does, honestly, just like everything else, it lets people feel more comfortable and more open. When you're more comfortable, if you trust me, then you are more open to the journey that I can take you on and that I want to.
John, did your glass wobble? It looks wobbly. Is it a weeble wobble? It's a weeble wobble glass.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Make sure you express your orange peel on top as you go. Sorry, John. Let's talk about your glass. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this was a gift, and I just remember. Well, most guests, especially, let's see. I used to make Manhattans for this Manhattans in this glass for my dad.
What?
And he's such a klutz. He would think that he's dropping and spilling the glass everywhere because of the way it sits.
Right.
You're like, no.
It was sort of my revenge for all the times he embarrassed me as a kid.
Oh my god, I love that.
Payback, Papa. Payback.
So I like that glass.
That's hilarious. I like that glass too. It's got a good, yeah. It's got a good look to it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I gotta find one of those for a picture. I was working my butt off to try and make a glass not look like it was tipping like that just the other day. At an angle. Like I want one that purposely makes me just deal with it.
Wait, I forgot off of John's glass. I thought you were gonna do something. We need a P&P, by the way, with John's hands and this one. We don't have.
Yeah, we need two hands. We need John's hands and my hands at the same time so we can do that. That's a great, and a swap.
Put it on the list, people.
Add another thing. We're always trying to make this better for everybody. Thank you again for showing up. Sorry that I haven't said it to all of you that have already been commenting and talking. It's great to have all of you here. I zoned out and got way too into trying to keep my brain on all the things that we have to do tonight, and I should have just been having a good time with all of you.
Alright.
Lucifer, which glass though? That's the only thing I gotta know.
John's glass.
Is it John's glass? Okay. Alright. His is pretty cool. But I mean, look at mine with the Negroni in it.
a weeble wobble.
I'm like freaking out now. John, can you see my glass? I had no idea it was going to look like that once I got a Negroni in it.
It looks great.
Hold on, John. Do that again.
I like the
Move
yellow.
Back over to yours. Make it wobbly weeble.
Ew. Oh.
So good! I need that glass in my life. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Alright,
you
Billy,
do.
we're back to your glass.
It'd be tipped over by now, John, if it were.
Billy, I like yours. Yours looks very elegant. The yellow and red is great, and orange really.
I kind of
Some of my favorite colors.
I'm just shocked. Yeah, I'm shocked it had that cool gradient to it. And it's like, I feel like Snoop Dogg and I could hang out and have Negronis together.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I got something worthy of like owning it. Sorry, I sipped too soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
No, wait, hold.
Carly, Sergio,
Sorry, people.
thinking of you. Mm.
Hey, Lucif, I don't think anyone knows what the heck we're talking about, so I'm going to post the video.
You mean weebles wobble, but they don't fall
I
down?
don't think people know though.
Because we're too old. That's what happens.
To my dad's credit, I thought I almost spilled this Negroni 3 times just now.
Right? I was gonna say, like, Bree's like, oh, I need that
It's
in
a
my
good
life.
glass. It's a tricky glass.
But she could knock it over, but it still does knock over, right? Or does it never knock over?
It never knocks over, but it has a slightly larger. How would you say? Like if you place it on the edge of a table, it has like more ways it could fall off.
Right.
But it will never. But it won't tip over. It has a wider foot than you think.
It's just just as heavy on the bottom that it can't let it actually go all the way over.
Yeah.
By the way, before we get too far, because let's talk about your glass more, but let's talk about this variation and how the flavors come through.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I like this a lot.
After the first one, now I'm really like appreciating the extra heavy flavor, which makes sense because we would normally. This is a triple drinker, I call it, as far as a Negroni cocktail. Any one of these that I ever made for one person, they'd always get 2 more afterwards.
Really, like as even first timers.
I'd never make this for a first timer. That's why. But that's why I'd stick with the other one for first timers. And then it'd be somebody who'd come in who'd say, you know, I really like Negronis. I like this and this and this about the flavor. And then you're just adding just a little bit more intensity to all those. Oh, sorry, I'm leaving Brie out. It's an easy glass to hold on to too. That's the first drink I've had out of that glass.
So Toghurst and I were just talking about the glasses, and so she was saying that she can get that glass can become very frustrating. The Weeble Wobble glass that you've had, if it's your second or third drink, that could be hard to grab. And I could see myself in it. But this is like the perfect second or third. So you have your first Negroni in John's glass, and then you move on to this glass because this is very substantial. You have to pay attention.
You're not going to drop that glass. You might, hopefully it wouldn't even break if you knock it over. It lets me know that I have to do like solid color drinks in this glass and never anything like lighter. Sorry, John. Did you hear Zoe? Could you hear her?
Are you all hungry over there? Is that what I heard?
Zoe's hungry, and she is, and everybody knows for after hours tonight. Hopefully, you know already from our post that we got Porque No, one of our favorites here in town, and we got it ahead of time, early enough that we could warm it up for the kids before we warmed it up for ourselves for after hours. So we just jumped in on it. John, did you get yours yet, or are you having yours like dropped off momentarily?
I'm they're you know, at risk of the internet, our audience crashing crashing the internet and going to order because we're gonna have it too, right? And you all should order too. Their delivery is currently unavailable. I've been refreshing it while we've been streaming.
No. Wait, really?
It goes in and out. Like you said, in times of what do you say? Like if you take too many orders, the kitchen is slammed. You just shut off Square or DoorDash or whatever.
Do you have your cart ready?
Right. Yeah, Bree says, do you have your cart?
What was that?
Do you have your cart ready? So that you can just like have everything.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's ready.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. I have reminders set. If it doesn't come through when my alarm hits, I'll snooze the reminder.
Right.
I'm gonna get on this, unless all our friends at home buy them out, and then I'll be out of luck.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that would be amazing if our post just from a few hours ago today.
That's the goal, right?
Of course, the reason. Yeah. Eventually, I'd love to be there. That would be an amazing coincidence for today. But I hope that's why. Yeah, we've been slacking with the posts, but we've got a lot going on, so we'll get there. Things. By the way, last night in this location, John, our last stream with this set. In fact, we'll have a new set for everybody for the next stream. And maybe several more sets coming after that. We don't know. We've talked to a few people have even mentioned having us in their locations, perhaps streaming from their places. That would be an amazing treat. For now, we're just looking at a couple new locations for on my side because I'm moving, right? But locally, I'm moving locally. Yeah, it's quite the deal. I know. We can't either. We can't believe it. Relocating, that's exactly how we should put it. But I'm still just shocked that, like, we're going to try and keep as much as we can. We're going to have the liquor shelf and our sign, if nothing else, to keep a little bit of familiarity for everybody. It's really weird that it's like the last... Yeah, it just started hitting me today, John, that it's the last stream from this spot. What a year we've had.
Oh, is the background going away?
The background, it is, because this background is permanently put in here because this is how we built our set for Thirsty Therapy a few months ago. Well, 7, 8 months ago now. And now we are, yeah. We're gonna be selling our house and heading out to a new location. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get something in a great area that we can. We have lots of plans for Thirsty Therapy and Noble Hospitality, and being able to bring more to you. We have lots of things that we're looking for in the future, and enjoying every minute that we've had with everybody. John, this has been so much fucking fun, right? Like, we don't want this to stop.
Yeah.
If we could have a location that John and I could film, and we could still have some of you show up and make some cocktails with us live, that would be insane. As well as expanding our classes, and yeah, I think we have a great future to move on from here. So we're taking that opportunity, and it means that we lose our wall, but we gain so much more. So it's totally worth it, right, John?
Yes, and on the bright side, someone else will gain that wall.
Right. That's a good point.
You're not demolishing the house, are you?
Well, not that I know of. We do have a very. We do have a particularly.
If anything, it's going to be a selling point. Like, look, this is the soundstage used previously for Thirsty Therapy.
Exactly. Right. There's like a value. You could take it over right here and there and start your whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe this is their desk area and they zoom from this point on. Speaking of which, John, before we go any further with our next cocktails and all that, let's talk about, with our guests, we want to know how you all feel about, like, 5-inch drinks you can make with the mini bar. Wait, what did I miss about that part of the conversation, John? Just before Elusive Genius.
You'll be filming. You're not. Are you moving into a hotel and doing all your streams from the mini bar? As Tart's question.
No.
Actually, that would be a great episode. 5 drinks you could make with your mini bar for $500.
Right. For less than $1,000. Fuck those mini bars. Stay away from those.
You're not moving to a hotel, though.
We're not. We're gonna move to a.
Zoe thinks we are.
Unfortunately, otherwise that would be a brilliant special.
Oh my god, it would be a brilliant special. I kind of want to do it as a special anyway, except for the fact that, like, every time I think of that, I'm like, fuck those mini bars. Go out and support, like, real bartenders within, like, the radius of your hotel. But that would be a fun fucking special to do with your mini bar. What if we did it and we did it with our own mini bar ingredients? You know, because obviously we wouldn't go into a hotel and pay like $500. Unless, of course, there's a hotel that wants to sponsor us out there. Hey, we would come to your location and teach all of your guests how to make... We could be on one of those loop videos, John, of teaching them how to make cocktails with their mini bar.
Oh, that greets you when you enter the room and it says, "Hi, family name."
Right.
Check out our mini bar. Look at what you can do.
It'd be perfect. Outside of that, right?
And like Zoe is, jumping up and down on the bed in the background.
Zoe and Tate, and he's like huge. He's like Tate's like 6 foot tall, bouncing on the bed with like 3 foot tall Zoe. It'd be perfect. You're right. And they're like, "Hey, Mom and Dad, do you want to know how to make some cocktails with your mini bar?" We got you. Welcome to Thirsty Therapy. You know, the bathroom has a lock on the door.
It reminds me of what's that show we watched on Apple TV? What the heck was the name of that show? About the soccer coach, the football coach.
Oh,
John,
do you know the name?
Ted
Yes!
Lasso.
It reminds me when she shows up at the hotel and she's like on the she's on
Oh
the
yeah,
TV.
she's on her own hotel. Hello, many of the regional areas you might want to see. Kylie, the Instagram influencer. Thank you, Ted Lasso. Love that. Who didn't want to root for that mustachioed man? Ted Lasso. Just made me want to go teach soccer in Europe.
It'd be about the same. You know nothing.
Yeah. Be about me running.
Just got my order in.
Yes,
Side
John,
note.
you did it.
Okay, no!
I was just looking for
John,
you.
did you get a drink?
Yes, in camaraderie, I decided to go cocktail.
Okay. All for fun.
The classic margarita.
We got the classic margarita as well. And it's funny because in camaraderie, I only did it because I thought you were doing it. So
Well.
perfect.
Shout out to Porcano.
Hey, Porque No, some of the best carne asada and really actually like solid, good. I want to say Northwest Oaxacan style,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I could be totally,
I think
absolutely
you're
wrong.
not right. Maybe.
Trying to remember banana leaves. Yeah, I was a little bit better at this before, and probably before all my drinks. But yeah, I really appreciate their food. John, I told you that growing up in Arizona, I really have an affinity for like solid carne asada, really well marinated meat and like grilled really well, and not necessarily like almost ground beef. And Porque No has delivered on more than one occasion. Like they do it really, really well. I love that they use like all whole ingredients and a lot of like vegetables, because there's so many more vegetables in like Mexican and.
You were right. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was right. It's Northwest Oaxacan.
Well, it's the Pacific coast of Mexico, like Oaxacan.
And so much more vegetables and different products that are used than I feel like everybody's like, oh yeah, it's like cheese and meat, right? Like Taco Bell shows me. Maybe there's a little bit of lettuce or a tomato on there, but the folks at Porque No actually dive into a lot of flavors with like what's one of my favorites is their vegetarian tamale that has at least like 6 other vegetables in it. And I'm a huge fan of tamales as well, especially dry without all the sauces and prettiness on them. But John, I'm so happy. We'll wait. I want to know what your order is right now, just because I'm selfish. But at the same time, like, we should probably wait till the unveiling, right?
We'll have our unboxing later.
Okay. Good call.
Our unboxing video.
You always help me stay straight. Like, keep them wanting more, right?
You're ADHD.
Now there's only one thing that we need to kind of get ahead of, and that is this debate that Tartarts is having.
Oh, what is it? Oh my God, I couldn't even read for the last few minutes. What's
How
happening?
many ounces should a margarita be? It comes in a pint glass, right?
Yes.
Theirs does.
Should come in a pint glass.
Oh, always?
Yeah. Say that again, John. What was the first part of that? What's the ratio?
Tartarts had the Porque No margarita last week.
Oh.
She was having a convo with a friend about it. How many ounces should a margarita be? That's a pint glass cocktail, right?
Oh.
She says that's a pint cocktail. I always serve it in a rocks glass.
I'm with you.
A few nice cubes, or even could even be a big fancy cube. But around town, I usually see it served in a pint glass with a ton of ice chips.
Ton of ice. Yeah, that's the biggest part. I don't think that you're getting... And we'll talk about that on After Hours specifically, because I even tease you, I think... Well, no, I don't. Not I think. I teased you earlier about the size of the bottles that we got, because I already know what they are. 32 ounces sounds about right, Lucifer. I think that's exactly... That should be the new standard for all margaritas.
I want to build big gulp margarita, please. That's what I need.
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, I don't.
I think only daiquiri.
Promise.
I think only daiquiris come in big gulps.
Yeah,
Except my
daiquiri
daiquiris, which we're doing in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
we're doing 2 weeks as a daiquiri show.
Correct.
Yeah, first show in a new location is daiquiris. Well, and I appreciate that, John. We're going to do classics because it gives me another few weeks to get settled into a new location before we start doing any like fun interactive kits that we do, that we like to do with our local guests. All of our friends here that sign up for us. I love sending out those kits to you, but with circumstantially, I wanted to get into a better spot before I started trying to share those flavors. But so pint glass, no. I'd say some of the cheaper places, and it depends on what they're doing and how refined they want to make it. The place that I started off at did serve it in 16-ounce solo cup pint glasses. I won't lie, but we also put a good amount of booze in. I want to say it was 2.5 ounces of tequila to 4 ounces of margarita mix. This is back in the day, forgive me. Remember, this is dose. 4 ounces of margarita mix. 2 ounces of extra lime juice to make it a little bit bitter because margarita mix is just super, super sweet. And that was it, I think. And they just would shoot it off. Now, in the last few years, I like ratios. It's weird. I like science. Huh. Call me crazy.
Don't worry, somebody.
Don't worry, I still got my vaccine, so I'm just the right kind of crazy. What we've done with that is we've done 1.5 ounces or we've done 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces to help me out here. Let's see, 2 ounces of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, and or Cointreau mixed into that to give you an orange liqueur flavor. I won't lie, John. One of my favorite fucking margaritas though is the skinny margarita, which is this thing that has been introduced as a skinny margarita back in the day, which I honestly think is probably closer to the more simplistic creation of a margarita, which is just agave syrup, so a little bit of sweetener, lime juice, and tequila. And that, to me, I want to taste. Yeah, and again, it's back to tarts. If you don't want to taste your spirit necessarily, and you just want to kind of get drunk off a big juicy drink, a punch almost, then I think that's a pint margarita. I want to taste the particular attributes that the tequila I chose went into that drink. So I just want a little bit of some sort of syrup. And John, you and I have talked extensively how I'd rather use a natural occurring syrup or a somewhat natural occurring syrup as opposed to like making a sugar simple syrup for something. If I could do it with honey, agave, or maple, I'd like to use those if I can. It's just a little less work, and also the agave I think has a tanginess. Have you ever tasted just agave by itself?
No, only the agave syrup.
I'm sorry. How about the agave syrup from Costco though? I believe that is similar. Have you just tasted it all by itself?
Yeah.
It's got it different than honey or simple syrup. Like it has a little bit, even a rich syrup. It has like you can taste the agave tang in the background. I feel like that flavor is only respectful to complement as far as the sweetener for anything that you're making with agave-based spirit.
Right.
But I'm kind of particular when it comes to that. I feel like it's a nice nod to the entire plant that you're using. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's probably the genesis of the margarita itself.
I feel like it has to be, right? It was long before we added Cointreau and all these extra layers of flavor to it. Mm-hmm. It was just like a little bit. It's basically an old-fashioned with lime juice, kind of. You know what I mean? Like you swap out your, or I guess you could call it a gimlet or a. Yeah. Anyway.
It's a gimlet. It's a gimlet of paying respect to the agave plant. So, agave spirit, agave sweetener, lime juice.
Exactly. Thank you. Thanks for bringing me home. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Are you ready to talk about your style now that we've talked about agave and margaritas? We have a whole nother kind of Negroni to get to still. Do you want to talk about what brought us to this?
Yeah. Well, there's actually quite a lot of Negroni variations, and one of the ways is to switch it up is to take out the main spirit. We've talked about gin to strengthen, bolster the Americano, which is soda water, right? So gin, but turns out these 3 equal parts harmonize with a ton of different spirits. And for tonight, I didn't even pick the most popular one because what are the other variations? If you do it with whiskey, maybe with slightly different ratios. If you do it with whiskey, it's a Boulivardier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Yep, 100%.
What other ones? There's some other common.
Is there a Boulivardier?
You can do it with tequila.
Does that have a name?
I don't know if that has a name. What's the one you do it with rye and dry vermouth instead of sweet vermouth? Do you know that one?
I've heard it, but I don't know it has a name. I almost wanted to go to a perfect, but no.
I'm thinking of the Old Pal, but I don't know if that's the recipe.
Maybe Bree can look it up. Look up that Old Pal for us.
What is it?
The Old Pal cocktail. And see if that's an actual.
But that one might be Fernet. I can't remember. Anyway, people.
Right, because there's the other part. Is the switching of the bitter.
It's bourbon or rye whiskey, simple syrup, PMM simple syrup. I don't know what that means. Orange slice, cherry, and bitters.
Not the Old Pal.
Yeah, it feels like it's like a old fashioned.
Never mind. Anyway, you have this. So the Boulivardier, I think, traditionally does more bourbon and then reduces the other 2 ingredients, but it's still the same 3 parts of the play.
Yeah, this is whiskey, Campari, 1 ounce whiskey, 1 ounce Campari, 1 ounce dry vermouth. It's the Old Pal.
Oh, you were right.
Yeah, you're
right. Well done, sir.
Another random
well done. A bunch of extra filler.
So another Negroni variation, but all we're doing today is we're keeping the ratios the same for our final drink. We're changing out gin for Jamaican rum.
Perfect.
And that funk, it can't just be any rum, I think. That funk that you get only from Jamaican rum just pairs so well with Campari. I don't know why. Maybe you can taste it and help explain it.
Well, it's funny. Let's taste it and then we can start talking about that, because I don't know if you remember me talking about this, but you told me everything about this cocktail and I said, that sounds awesome. And then I started making it one night after I'd had a couple drinks already, and I thought in my head, I said, well, that sounds great, but since I'm making it with Jamaican rum and it has this extra banana flavor, I really like banana and vanilla. Oh, well, instead of Dolan, I'm going to go with Carpano Antica, and I'm going to go a little bit heavier. Oh, and instead of Campari, because it's very particular in its notes, it's that blood orange, it's the gentian, it's very sharp. I thought, with those other flavors, I'm going to go more orangey. I'm almost tropical with the Jamaican rum. I'm going to go Grand Classico. The idea of the early onset of Campari, and you know what? It was fucking terrible. It was awful. I thought, why didn't I just listen to John? I, of course, drank it because I don't like wasting things. I think I only drank half of it, in fact, John, which is unheard of for me. And then I had to make it with the Campari. It changed everything, turned it all around. So go figure.
Okay. Yeah, it's all we're doing is changing one thing, leaving all the measurements the same, and I hope you all like it.
All right, let's get started. John, do you want to lead us through this one, or you want me to take it from here?
Would you please?
I would love to. You got it.
Highlight any differences you would do in the process versus our very first Negroni tonight.
Yeah, well, the biggest difference is going to be that we are not going to start with that first dash, or the first thing in our Yarai is going to be ice. We're going to start with the Campari again, then we're going to go that Jamaican rum, then the sweet vermouth. We're going to let those blend together for a second before we add our ice. So let's just get started with that. And I'm going to go Smith & Cross. John and I both really... John, you turned me on to this one. Not only do I love that it's pot still and at 57% because that fits my needs, the flavor behind it, the backbone of this particular rum is incredible. It's funky. You can smell it as soon as you open it up, but it is refined with that funkiness.
Yeah, I'll drink this by itself.
Right. Did I tell you that's where I've been finding myself lately, John? And it could change now with the summer hitting us, but my heat level on my palate has been so high that I feel like the areas that I've only been appreciating sipping things that are above at least a 45%. If not higher, much higher.
Interesting.
I know, isn't that wild? But I feel like as we start to dehydrate and get warmed up for the summer, that changes. That's inevitable to change. Look, and you know, everybody. Hey, I hope everyone noticed out there. I said we were going to start with Campari, and I poured Smith & Cross first. So yeah, that happens. Welcome to my brain.
Hey, there was a question about is there a Scotch Negroni?
Ooh. I don't know. For some reason, I have to say, my initial thought is that that the barley has such a particular sour tang to it, it might not lend well to the sourness and bitterness of all these extra things like the Campari and a wine-based vermouth. But maybe Bree can check on that for us. Whether or not there's a.
And I wonder if it has a name.
I started to, and then I saw the comment. It seems like there is, but I don't. There's like, it doesn't seem like it's literally like just you do.
There's not a name for it.
No, it's like Dewar's 12-year-old Scotch. Like that's the variations. It's like 111, and then it just says Italian red bitter liqueur, which I'm
that makes sense. Yeah,
and then sweet vermouth. So it's literally just sub.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that no restaurant out there said, oh, we're doing the Negroni with Scotch, and we changed the ratio we use. This particular Italian red bitter, it's the bee's knees. It sold so well.
So
it's a great twist on the Negroni. It's just like the Boulivardier is a known cocktail, right, with whiskey.
So there is one, like Liquor.com has one that they're calling South by Southwest, and it's like a 10-year-old Scotch Ardbeg, I don't know.
Ardbeg, yeah.
Campari, Dolan Sweet Vermouth, Orange Blossom Water, like a misting, and then garnished with Orange Blossom Water too, and then an orange twist. And they're calling it a South by Southwest. But
I'd be curious to try that. Ardbeg is very, very peaty. Now I think that maybe would lend itself better. In my mind, I was thinking something like Shackleton or Monkey Shoulder, but maybe something as far gone as Ardbeg or Lefroy would give a different, that medicinal, like smoky, peaty, that Band-Aid-y flavor. I mean, really, that's kind of what we're looking for.
Well, let's hope that no one in the chat, donates and bets us to try it.
We would do that just for you. Yeah, please. Challenge away.
So here's like 3. Liquor.com has like 3
different takes on it.
Yeah.
All right, John, let's ice this down. Let's get this into our gullets. We have Porcano that we have to get to in like 30, 40 minutes.
I was gonna say my stomach juices are.
Yeah, I'm ready to digest a lot of food. At this point, I could digest half of a horse, quarter of a horse for sure.
I don't want to eat a horse. Please don't talk like that.
Depends on how you cook it.
Remember that time we ordered that horse meat from Porcano?
Hey John, I'll say it. Just like everything else, depends on how you cook it.
John's counteracting my.
I'll take Chris Rock's. I'll take Chris Rock's. I'll eat a pig's ass if you cook it right.
Thank you very
I'm at a good spot. I got another fun glass for you. We're gonna go square cube with a round glass. John, you started your stir a little bit after me. I'm gonna pour now and get that beautiful ribbon. Try and get a picture right now.
No, just have another job. Hold on.
Oh, you do have another job. I gotta go for it. Oh my god, I spilled over. Oh my god, I spilled over a thing. Wouldn't you
That's
know?
cool glass.
Do you like the glass? If I wouldn't have dribbled on both sides of it.
Still a BFC?
Still a BFC in this one for me. I thought, you know, John, anytime we stir down and chill a drink, no, it was more for the pour. Anytime we still stir down and chill a drink, I always want to try and put the least, something that's going to dilute the least in afterwards. That's why we're picking that BFC. We've already got our dilution done. We just want this to keep our glass, our drink, a little bit cooler, a little more chilled, as we enjoy it from beginning to end.
But you could serve it over a few big rocks, right?
Yeah, oh definitely. A few 1-inch.
Just maybe not over ice chips.
No, but you could, John, but if you're going to do that, serve it, you're going to build it in the glass. And you're going to build it right on top of those ice chips, and you're going to do the Campari, gin, and vermouth, just like we talked about. And make sure that you stick to that. Don't stir it too long, and start drinking it right away. All these things are adaptable depending on the medium that you have. That's my favorite thing about bartending. It doesn't matter the setting that I'm put in. I'm going to be able to make people some good, solid drinks regardless of what I have to work with. Maybe the restaurant I'm working at can't afford a cold draft 1-inch cube machine, and they break all the frickin' time. We had one that we spent $30,000 on, I believe. Maybe it was 15. And yet we had to have somebody come out and service it almost every 2 or 3 months. So I don't think I can afford to put one of those in if I opened a place right now. So instead, we work with what we got, and we still know that we can. Maybe we don't have we can't afford PDX ice for these beautiful 1-inch cubes, but maybe we can make our own for right now. You know, everybody's worthy of good drinks, regardless. That's a beautiful looking peel you have there, sir.
She appreciates the sweetness from the rum.
Lucif, did you get this rum? I tried to offer some up to you. In fact, I was afraid you weren't going to get your hands on some.
You tried, or you thought about it?
I thought about it. Sorry, I was a little busy. I was a little busy making this set look filmable. All right, I got my peel.
She has real McCoy.
Ooh, I can see that's really good too. Nice and caramely. That's almost going to be closer to Boulivardier than this particular, the Kingston version is. John, you ready to taste?
Hold on.
Yes.
Give me a second so you guys can cheers. All right, cheers.
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 That is the weirdest cheers. I would have died if it just fell right over.
Do you see, I got scared about it for a minute.
I trust the banana hands. I know it's going to be okay.
No, I got worried it was going to fall too. I won't lie. It's a weird, fun glass. I didn't want to lose it. John, do you like my nerdy glass?
I don't know if anybody can see it.
I like that glass.
Don't hold it like that.
Your drinking form needs a little work.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Better?
I'm not even sure what was going on right there.
I'm like, isn't this how we prefer? Isn't it?
I was like, did you like? Where were you?
I think I just channeled Will Ferrell. Flybird.
So, tasting notes.
Bree's mad.
Dude.
She's not getting any of this. Sorry, my bad, everybody. Tasting notes. I like the rich funkiness that I get initially. I think it actually tones down the bitterness a lot.
Yeah, it's overall sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that is not how I describe Smith and Cross. I don't tell people it's a sweet rum.
No, it's a stronger cocktail though. Like ratio-wise and dilution rate-wise, at 57%, it's still much stronger than that. It does have. Well, let's be honest. Let's first talk about the body of rum is going to be sugarcane or sugarcane molasses, right? So, like that in itself is going to lend to a sweeter, which is why I use rum. In fact, John, you and I have talked about this. I make a bitter cacao, like infused rum, because I like that the viscosity of rum and the fact that it's based around sugar. It actually has a different mouthfeel to it. And it pairs better. Like there is New Deal, like we talked about earlier, makes a really good. They make a mud puddle, bitter chocolate or bitter cacao vodka, but being that it's vodka, it's so much sharper and more astringent. To me, in some of the cocktails that I've made, I feel it's more approachable using that using a rum base. So that alone already gives us a different kind of sweet perception to it. Let alone adding that banana funkiness to it. Sorry, she's laughing because I just spit on air.
Or then you try to catch it, which is my favorite part.
I'm just embarrassed. Like I could put it back in maybe real quick.
Chatters, if you're watching now, please highlight that clip and
of me trying to catch my spit on
immortalize. Slow it down. Immortalize the spit catch.
If you want to circle the little bubble of spit and just have it
zoom in
and have it miss, swing and a miss. Tart Tarts. I could see. Wait, OFTD. I could see OFTD kind of meeting that funky richness. However, I figure because Smith & Cross is so clean, it's slightly more refined in its flavors. I wonder if that OFTD is actually like.
I taste banana on the back of my tongue.
Yeah, that's the Smith & Cross. Yeah, super. It's got a big banana, like that's that funkiness.
When we had Smith & Cross before, though, I didn't taste it.
Really?
This is the first time. You guys talked about it, but this is the first time I've actually tasted it.
Cool.
I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's the vermouth.
Probably my brain. Who knows?
Oh, that could be power of suggestion. But I feel like it has a little bit more banana-ness to it at this point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucif, we're gonna get you a little sample. Let me
Try
know.
it first.
Let me know when you stop by, and we'll give you a little. I'll share a little bit.
It's so good.
It's worth
always
the
have it on
bottle. I
hand.
won't lie. But if you want to just try it, maybe.
I feel like you should try it first, though.
Yeah, it is. It would take you a little bit.
I bet that's why. Because I had never had it, and now I've had it like a few times.
Now
and
you've
I bet,
it's
now
growing on you.
I'm like over the initial like funk kick in the face.
John, I could see that.
Yep.
I could really see that. Because that's the off-putting part. And John and I talked about that. Even, in fact, when John and I first met, I used to blend the rums. Because I thought that he didn't... I actually mixed up he and a friend of his, right? You and Yoshi, you liked more funk. Yoshi did not. Am I right? Liked a little bit of a blend. And I think that I mixed it up, so I always thought I was doing John a favor by giving him a blend of Eldorado 5-year and Smith & Cross. And that was really like, he was ready to be on the just Smith & Cross, and here I was soft.
How did you figure this out?
Yeah. I was ready to. I wanted there to be a really kick-ass blend. I'm all about trying different permutations of things, but in the end, just give me the Smith & Cross.
Yeah. You were always supportive
no attempt to blend.
Right. I appreciate that. But
Except that one time that someone, Noah, blended it with Nova Fogo.
Nova Fogo, the aged cachaça. Yeah.
I think the aged one, yes, not the unaged one.
Wait, that was good or bad?
He liked that.
Yeah.
That
improved upon the straight Smith & Cross daiquiri.
And in fact, if Noah's joining us, I know he has a night off tonight. What's up, buddy? If you are, if you're not, he is at Bit House Collective right now. Or not currently because he has a night off, but at Bit House Collective, making those fantastic drinks for you. An incredibly talented bartender that I cannot wait to have an opportunity to work with again.
Is he working tomorrow? I'll go there tomorrow.
I don't know. We gotta hit him up. I just saw him a couple weeks ago, and
Cool.
yeah, it was awesome to hear. I can't wait to be more fully vaccinated and more comfortable to make it out to actually like be in his arena. Yeah. John, you and I are both currently in the loop. We're trying to get our. Did you get your first vaccine yet?
No, but it is scheduled for this week.
That's right. Okay, this week. And then I got my first one last week.
And
I'm sorry, everybody, that I didn't post it because I will. My second one's coming on the second of May, and I will make sure that I post a big, beautiful picture of me with my.
Your Band-Aid.
I don't know what. Maybe
you're not supposed to show your card if it has your birthday, but you can show it. But I wrote my birthday on mine and stuff, so if they don't write it on.
No. Forget the vaccination card. Drink a penicillin while you're getting the injection.
Oh my god, I love it. What if I could do that? What if all of a sudden the people were so nice?
Last time you would be.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I had such a great. The person was like that. I had, and I appreciate this because this is my favorite part of life, John. I won't lie. This is my secret micro like win of every like day in life. Is that I sat down and had like a great interaction with the gentleman that was volunteering selflessly to do this for so many people with his own time to vaccinate all of us. And he was like, you know what? This was such a pleasant interaction. I really appreciate it. I had such a good time talking to you. And I was like, I had a great time talking to you. Thanks. Like, those are my mini wins of the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
You might not have a billion friends, and that's okay. But the fact that you can like have interactions with genuine interactions with strangers, and you both leave feeling better. That's what got me into the hospitality business. It's a drug better than any of the rest, and I swear can help fight all this hate that that so many people are struggling with right now. Yeah. I literally was like, it was kind of that thing that you sent me from Morgenthaler that you talked about getting his thing. It was like, this guy is in service to me and I'm in service to everybody else, and like how important it is. Look at what we've done, John. We've created a stream over how important it is for us to be able to connect with people. Like,
right.
That's what we're here for, man. I'll never stop saying that.
Yeah, John, if you
Everybody
have it, can you post that link in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great. It was very, like, it embodies what I hear on a daily basis from Billy, and it was a great read. Thank you for posting.
Yeah. So Jeffrey Morgenthaler, we called him out earlier on the show because he's based here in Portland, bartender, mixologist, Negroni slushiest, and he had he can't wait to get back to work, and he had a good reminder of why he does the hospitality, the service industry, restaurant, bar that he does when he got vaccinated recently.
Yeah, it's a great read.
It is a really good read. Check it out, everybody. It's what those of us that have chose to spend a lifetime in this business, it's really kind of hits on why we do it. Everyone has met people, myself included, good friends that aren't necessarily like they don't necessarily find themselves in my business because they want to be, or that they think that that's where they're supposed to end up. But for those of us that truly want to stick with doing this and really like love it, he touches on why we do, and we really do. Like, there's a certain part that I want to take good care of people. I want you to leave thinking, holy shit, I feel so good, not only about myself, I want to my favorite thing is to have guests be like, my wife and I were fighting before we came in here, and now like you changed the mood entirely. We've had one of the best nights we've had together, and we can't wait to just be happy and walk out of here and like come back and see you again, and like, holy shit, like that's amazing. That's incredible to be able to do to give to someone. Meanwhile, I got a lot out of the interaction as well. So we're positive to positive and putting that out in the world. You can't tell me that's wrong. You can tell me all you want, but I'll never fucking believe it. Ever. And we need
Get a
more
real
of it.
job.
Right. Yeah, to think so many people thought. I used to have people, John, like, well, what happened?
Why are you
here? And I'm like, I really like that. I make good money. I treat people great. I can change, the world in a small little way in my own microcosm. But you still have people like, oh, why aren't you in a cubicle? You'd be so much happier. Been there, done that. Thank you.
Not for you.
That's right.
Yeah. And so here we are. Look at what we can do now.
So, viewers at home, what's your vaccination story? What cocktail did you drink at your vaccination?
Or after.
Or will drink?
Yeah, or after.
Or after.
Do you
or
drink the first
hopefully
day
you have
after
one
your
scheduled.
vaccination?
Billy was worried. He wasn't sure.
Oh,
I took a day
right.
off.
You did take a day off.
Oh, I took 2 days
took
off.
2 days
Holy
off.
shit, that's incredible. That should have just gone on a calendar in itself.
The Thirsty Therapy stream does not constitute medical advice.
No. Thank you,
So
John.
don't listen to me.
Lisa, you're not shy. Liar. But I love it. I love it.
Still shy.
Yay! Go Tart Tart.
Yeah, tarts.
Scheduled. Good.
Let's just get it done. It was what was one of my favorite one of my favorite authors said, like, it's one thing to like say that you have the right to do something, like to not in particular do something, but that doesn't justify your right to not to impose harm or to try and impose harm on others. Like, yeah, you have your own rights to make your own decisions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're always constantly trying to, well, it's my right to kill anybody I want to, or, like, yeah, thanks.
Yes! Yay for kid getting number 2 in 11 days.
What? That's
Yeah,
right, they've opened it up. Yay, science! Hooray!
Welcome in, Alex.
Yay,
Nice to see you, Alex. So glad. You on the 19th. Woohoo! So that way, if one of those big mountains that surrounds this flat earth does happen to, like, crumble down, at least before you slide off, you'll be vaccinated. How much better would that be, right? Valhalla, you'll be vaccinated in Valhalla. I don't know. Whatever stupid story happens to go along with that. I'm ready to be trolled for it, John. I can take it.
You're okay. I think you're safe here.
I think this is a safe place, but I'm not screwed. Do you want more of this? I'm about to destroy it. I'm sorry about that. Not that I need more.
I was gonna say this third drink has changed as it's
Oh,
warmed
wow.
up and melted a little bit.
Yeah, I just got it back and I agree.
I love how they air.
I think I like it even more. The more water in it.
Now,
John, you should make this. I wonder if we made this one like in the glass. What if it would change the taste? Like with
might.
ice, with like chipped ice.
with chipped ice especially, it'd mellow out. It'd probably be where it is right now.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like
super
the
a
whole
lot
time.
sooner.
I mean, it was delicious before, but
I will say this part is interesting to me though. Is do either one of you pick up on any new flavor now that there's less funkiness or less banana?
Well, I think the Campari has kind of come back into focus a little bit. And on the finish, I taste the Campari and the funk from the rum together. Whereas initially, all I could taste was the funk and how alcoholic it was.
Yeah. It's
Because it's an overproof rum that we used.
take one more sip and do a fun little silly. Do you remember wine tasting where you aerate in your mouth? Do you know how to do that?
Explain.
Okay. Well, what you're doing is you're making almost a straw with your tongue, right? So you're gonna push your tongue together, almost like this, but not fully. It's not sticking out of your mouth. It's almost making a crevice in your tongue, right here, just inside your lips.
Okay.
And you're going to pull just a little bit of liquid through while pulling that across. Ready? Now, let it sweep past all the way back of your tongue. And you're not
Hold
having.
on, I missed it. So I got the tongue motion. Pull it.
So it's almost like your tongue, your lips are a straw hole, and your tongue is like the slip and slide for that hole, right? Like or the slide.
This analogy.
Right.
I got that, but then my internet cut out.
So all you're going to do is
that?
then let it slip past all the way past your the back of your tongue, and I want you to just like breathe in that flavor. And the one thing I find interesting about this, and this is why I like dilutions. Again, it was one of my favorite things to learn, and I might be a broken record if anybody remembers this from past. One of my favorite things to learn from a Japanese whiskey maker was how he appreciated extra water or extra dilution to bring down and enhance some of the flavors that they worked really hard to get in there. Thank you for appreciating this description, Tarts. I'm on a roll. So he always said, basically, why do you want to taste my whiskey, my Japanese whiskey, at full strength? If you do, your taste buds are going to shut down a little bit because of that initial ethanol shock that happens to all of us. And then you're not going to taste all the things that all the layers of flavor I worked so hard to get into that. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is when I taste this, now all of a sudden I get along with the funk, I get a nice molasses, a very strong molasses flavor right at the center of my tongue. And I'm curious if you can pick that up with a little aeration. And that's basically a long story short of where I was trying to get. Tarts, thanks for hanging in there. Hopefully all of you are still awake.
You let it hang out on the back of your tongue for a second?
No, not necessarily. It's more about the inhale, exhale. So what it is you're bringing
aerating it.
Aerating it, bringing it all the way across your entire palate, taking that little sip. There shouldn't be a lot on there necessarily on your tongue. That little sip, and then breathing in and out and tasting the flavors that you're still getting, because that's where some of those extra flavors are coming in. That's where the molasses flavor, I feel like, the richness is coming through. You almost get a little bit of raisiness. And that's also still those Jamaican pits. They have layers and layers of funk that is from an amazing amount of rotting botanicals that have been there for 100 to 200 years now. A lot of them started in the 1800s. Let the advent of pirates, similar time. Anybody Jack Sparrowing it through their night tonight? You're welcome.
Oh, we've got so many more great rum nights, tiki nights where we can get into that.
Oh my God, yeah! I can't wait. We got daiquiri night coming up. We haven't even got to tiki night, and daiquiri night I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt as it is, but tiki night I think I'm going full on Hawaiian shirt. I was gonna say not full on tiki, y'all. Just so you know, John and I, we don't necessarily tiki, like we don't appreciate taking Polynesian idols and turning them into our gaudy glassware. But we do appreciate the style of flavors, the punches that were created around...
in 1930s Hollywood.
Right, in 1930s Hollywood, around the appropriation of that culture? Oh, yeah. Is it the culture? Yeah, it is the culture. They tried to hey, we're Hawaiian or Samoan.
I like to think it was a flavor that was invented. I mean, because they weren't making these cocktails wherever Don the Beachcomber visited, on his supposed travels. I just think it's maybe appropriating the imagery and this comes from a faraway land, but.
And that's all it really took for Americans in the 30s, right? In the 30s through 50s.
Sure.
It could have just had it could have had a big banana leaf on it, and they'd have been like, which covers 70% of the globe, but they would have been like, oh, look.
The craziest thing about tiki to me is that there was no travel industry at the time. There was no kayak.com, there was no travel agent, there was no airplane.
Oh shit, you're right. Even Pan Am wasn't a thing until you're right, until the mid 60s, right?
It was just unavailable to the consumer.
Where do you think Don the Beachcomber got it? He had an old National Geographic that just suddenly got him to where he was like, I got it. I saw shirtless women and a bunch of fruit.
Story, but whatever he came up with, he could have fooled anyone at the time. Most people, right?
We were easy to fool that time at that point too. When you have a limited amount of information coming at you, I feel like that's a much easier time to trick people. Oh, I can't wait to go there. Get the grog. Alex, you're bringing John and I there. Once everything's better, we're going to have to do that. We'll sneak in our camera to do a mini stream from there. Dark Tarts, can you hold a steady camera? You can go with us if you want.
Hey, I don't know if the site is legit, but I've got a link.
Yeah.
The top 10 best tiki bars in the world.
What? And what do they got?
And I'll paste the link here. Very proud to say that Portland's own Hale Pele, number 4,
what?
outranks Smuggler's Cove at number 7, although Smuggler's Cove wrote the book.
Literally, yeah. But that lets you know where we're willing to take our cocktail development, though, too.
I guess number 1 is what was it, Kansas City?
Perfect, Lucy.
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri. We got to go. I guess that's where our summer episode is going to be filmed from.
We're not going to Missouri.
We can spend a day there.
Kibosh.
We can spend a day there.
We're not doing that.
Oh, look, it's summer. Let's retreat to the tropical shores of Kansas.
Right, of Kansas. Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather not.
We couldn't have picked Bali, John? Come on,
I was like, if we're going to do humidity, can we do someplace better than Kansas? I'd rather not. Thank you.
Yeah, I hear there's a place called Margaritaville.
Let's just go to Jamaica.
Oh, I'd be down. That'd be even better. We could film from Jamaica and look down the pits, John, and like actually.
Ooh.
That'd be worth it. That'd be totally.
I wonder if they've had wonder if Jamaica has had a Kingston.
Oh, I'm sure. We can't be the first ones to want to put some funky rum with all these other flavors, right?
It just makes me think of Scotch whiskey, that this kind of collector's item that I think it maybe is offensive to most Scots, that
you would mix it,
that you would water it down. I mean, you could add drops of water, maybe one little ice or a whiskey stone, but
right.
Just throw a bunch of ice chips in it, or heaven forbid, mix it with lemon juice.
Right.
This national product, right?
How could you taint it in such a way?
Yeah, I don't know if the Scotch actually feel that way, but
I was gonna say
it's such a well-regarded spirit that I've heard that story.
If they did, I couldn't imagine. Being 79% Scottish myself, I can imagine the just pure determination and honoriness of wanting to say that was true. I don't think growing up on an island in the middle of the tropics, even if you're growing up in a much lower socioeconomic level than others, I feel like there's a certain part of your area that raises your spirits.
Hey, real quick, I have to walk off the set to go receive my food.
Please?
Is that cool?
Walk off. Bring it back. This is tattle.
It'd be so cool if they would bring it to my door, but COVID and my front door situation.
No, 100%. I had one of my neighbors.
To the spinning orange, John. You're safe.
I had one of my neighbors who was John. You can hear this while you go. One of my neighbors who
is John gone?
Well, he's just scooting over. He's gonna answer his door.
I know, but his face disappeared in the thing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Okay, keep going, John.
walking out
You're
front.
okay.
It's funny because I just see his hands cam. I thought you'd get that.
Whoa, Billy, okay, you're like into camera views. It's like too much. Stand up.
Oh, sorry. My bad, everybody. What were we talking about?
I don't know. They're spitting orange, though.
Hey!
We can also just like...
Oh, Dave, one of our neighbors, was like, hey, how about I got my vaccine. How about I just walk through the set halfway through your like thing? And I was like, but the rest of us all don't have our vaccine yet. So maybe soon we can do that. That would be perfect, just a random Dave walking through. He'd be like, go. Well, never mind.
Today's my dad's birthday, or was my dad's birthday. I don't know. Billy and I have had a conversation about this. And my dad could just walk through naked on the screen. He would have done that.
Oh my god, he totally would have, John. He would have, 100%. Bree's dad just passed away in June of last year. July of last year. And he would have bet, yeah, he absolutely, if he was in this house while we were streaming, he would have suddenly lost all of his clothes and started just randomly walking
And he didn't
through.
drink, so it totally would have been
No.
sober.
Yeah, he would have done that on purpose. That would have been pure lucid, like, I'm gonna fuck this up. And then, but he'd pretend like he was drunk a little bit. He'd be like, "What? Huh?
Where am I?
What?" And he'd be like, "Wait, maybe he doesn't know." No, he knows. He knows where he's at. He knows what he's doing. Huh? That was pretty awesome.
Did you get your food, John?
John's getting Porcino. I don't know if everybody remembers or not.
I mean, we can transition to after hours because John's Skype is like.
Oh yeah, it is. Although really great shot of John's Skype as far as like the quality, camera quality. Oh, you should. You're over here. You should see it. He's got. I can see.
Do you want to transition people?
Oh, his front door's on another floor. I had no idea.
Wait,
Thank you, Tarts. I had no.
His front door's. Oh, he's got to go like down.
Oh.
Okay. So
that's why he made such a point. I was like, yeah, just turn around.
I'm hungry. Can we just say join us for after hours?
Oh, let's do that, everyone, before Bree eats us. It's an apartment building. We don't know about that. Sorry, Tart. All right, so we will see you in a few minutes. John will hear us transition before Bree kills all of us. I mean, eats all of us.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
afternoon. Yeah, after hours. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, what about mine? I can't pour mine.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry. Hi, everyone.
Good help. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
We got our porcano. We got our yummy food. We're very excited. I'm very hungry. I don't know if you heard Bree or not, but we were all in danger for our lives in this location. So
Yes, we still are. Come on. I haven't eaten.
John, you unbox first, just to make it even that much more titillating.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I've gotten delivery in the middle of the stream, so we can make this a proper unboxing video.
That was exciting.
Well, I'll start with what's on top. My pint glass margarita.
We got one too. Pull ours out.
No, he's unboxing. All right. Pint glass, right?
Large margarita to go. I mean,
No, I wouldn't.
how many ounces is this, you think?
That's what I had to think about, because if it's like 5 ounces, I think that's probably about right.
It is. I think it is large. Like, okay, to directly address the earlier question of how big a margarita should be, it's what, a 3-ounce drink, right? Maybe no more than 4.
Yeah.
2 ounces of spirit, 1 ounce of lime juice. Less than an ounce of sweetener.
Less than an ounce of
Or
sweetener.
per
I'd say a
sour,
half
whatever.
ounce of sweetener. Yeah, for an ounce of.
Maximum 1 ounce. So I feel like it's maximum a 4-ounce drink. It's
Yeah.
more than 4 ounces, I think.
I appreciate your math right now, John. I agree. Thank goodness, because I'm just looking at this little bottle. I'm wondering.
But it is funny because it doesn't come in a pint glass, and I'm expecting like, you know, the what do you call it, the margarita bong?
Yeah, that's what I called it. They totally
Oh,
are.
I'm
Like,
excited.
what are they? They're like phallic and huge, and like I don't even
And
know.
What are we talking
and in
about?
preparation, I have a glass of ice.
Vegas.
And
You missed
Ooh,
that conversation.
I missed
This one has instructions. Pour contents of bottle over ice. Easy.
We can do hard
John,
things.
I shook it a little. Here, that one's yours.
Wait, are we having?
Well, we're both
I
gonna
need
try.
ice on my glass. How's that gonna happen?
What?
I mean, I need.
I'm unboxing some very greasy-looking bags, possibly chips.
They are.
Oh, their chips are so good.
Their chips are so good. We always got extra. Hey, John, you know what I have to do to help Bree real quick? I'm going to jump ahead of the game, and I'm rimming her glass so that we can put some of the spicy salt on. Did you get some of the spicy salt?
I think so. I'm finding more as I unbox. Maybe I'm unboxing too fast here, but
No, keep going. I'm just fucking up your unboxing. I apologize.
okay. I got some ingredients on the side because I actually ordered 2 bowls, one for later.
Smart.
So Porcano, Mexican restaurant. What would we say? Northwest
It's
Oaxacan.
like Pacific Oaxacan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pacific
Pacific.
Coast.
So I got the Brian's bowl, which I'm guessing is a Porcano invention, and
Brian's the
I got
owner.
one for now, one for later.
Nice. That's a smart way to do
But
it.
then I also got some lime and presumably salt for the margarita. Maybe just lime.
Yeah, the lime was in like a little. You didn't get salt.
Oh.
You think you had
No, I got
Yeah, it's a little dime bag of salt.
a little dime bag.
Yeah.
It's safe to snort, right?
Yeah, maybe it might be painful.
I think this one would hurt more than booger sugar. I don't know.
Where's Margarita Nose? We need Margarita.
Right, where's Margarita Nose for these
Oh, she
questions?
changed her name. We don't
Oh,
know.
you're right.
I don't remember.
Okay, so I applied the lime wedge to the rim.
Nice. By the way, Alex, if you're still here, it's great seeing you too. Great hearing from you. John, well done getting getting yourself rimmed.
What do I do with the salt now?
Well, so we put ours on a plate, but we did the same thing as you and like filled our glass with ice too soon.
Bree knew ahead of time. She got on it. It was awesome.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going. I'll catch up.
Okay. Well, we made ours. Here it is. Wait.
I just dumped the ice into my hands and over the other ice, so then I got a lot more in my other glass, but I'll sit that down.
Okay.
Yeah. I did the exact same way you did to rim the glass with one of the lime wedges, and then tipped the whole thing upside down and made sure that I kind of moved it in a circular pattern over the plate, just kind of letting it inside while it's inside all those spices, no matter what kind of spices you want. You want to get a good amount. Like, nothing's meant to ever just be on the outside of the glass. It's a good thing to get a little bit on the inside, too. The salt helps balance out all the rest of those flavors.
Sorry, I went ahead and tasted it. I couldn't wait.
Ooh.
Their chili salt's different than our chili salt, so I'm glad we got it.
We have tahini. Oh, you're right.
It's good.
Less limey.
Yeah.
Is there any way to apply it?
With the ice?
No, you have to turn the glass upside down. If I hadn't,
I mean,
yeah, you know, or
first.
do this, John. I mean, don't ever be afraid of your finger spatula, and like literally, all you're really trying to do is get a good little balance of flavors. So you take a sip, get a little, get the tip of your finger wet with your tongue, dab it in there.
Okay.
Oh, I need a little bit more. Dab it in there. You got it ready, right? Everybody can see.
Just put it...
You got more than enough in there. And then take a sip without it. Or give it a lick to your finger and then take a sip.
Yeah.
There's no way to get it on the glass.
Well, I mean, not really. It's going to be hard.
You could do the side tip.
Okay.
But you could do, like, old style, like, tequila shot where you, like, put it on your, like, your thumb and index finger and then...
Forget it. Yeah, what you suggested is great.
I don't have any better suggestion outside of that, other than licking your hand.
I love that you said finger spatula, because it totally, like, segues into my porcano story. So, like, one of my, like, the greatest humans I've ever met.
Now that we have our...
Cheers.
We have our excellent salted...
Were you going to drink ice?
Okay. Gee, with your story.
So, one of my friends, who we used to always call it a finger spatula, she used to call porcano fuck you taco. That was her name for porcano. And it was because every time you went to porcano, the line would be like 7 feet long and you'd be like, fuck you! And then you'd be like, I want tacos still though, so I'm gonna wait in this goddamn line just to get tacos.
Actually, one of the few lines I've thought was worth waiting in Portland. Everybody loves queuing up in Portland for long lines of lots of things, but I've been disappointed. I've been burnt a couple times, John.
Ooh. And then what's Billy making? Billy's making...
We were talking about lines in Portland, but yes,
I know.
I will be making.
But then I saw you making
something.
something.
I'm pouring off a little... This isn't for you, this is for the kids. Oh, here. While I make my drink, John, you feel like you got a full good unveiling out?
Don't put the salt in your nose. I just inhaled it in my throat. I do not recommend it.
Ooh, we got greasy bags, too, of their fantastic handmade chips.
For later.
Ooh, it's for later.
Hey, Billy, this is the best Brian's Bowl I've had because you recommended the carne asada.
So good.
I'm so glad.
And you're right. That is the best meat protein choice for this one.
And
I'm glad you like it.
They
do their carne asada so well.
And I got the biggest size of salsa that I could get because that's what it's all about for me.
And John, for my drink, I got the horchata, but they gave you a choice of a couple liqueurs. Or no, not liqueurs, liquors. And I really wanted to try their horchata because I particularly like it with Solera rum. So I'm going Santa Teresa, 1796, an ounce and a half, to a lightly shaken horchata. And then I'm going to top it with some cinnamon and a little nutmeg.
The mixology continues.
John and I are like, we're eating.
Even in after hours, you are worthy of good drinks.
Right? And Porcano's horchata is done really, really well.
They use almonds, right? They like use almonds and
rice.
And rice.
Yeah. But I think they do a stew, make it in a stew, which is like a real authentic way to make it, and then strain it out.
That's how I used to make it.
Yeah, that is. The only one thing I do want is I want to get an orange peel in there too. So trimmed orange peel.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Oil's right in there.
Now they have a horchata.
They do have a horchata drink, but they let you just pick like a white rum, a tequila, like all well stuff. And that, while that's good and you're worthy of that, if that's what you wanted, I really was curious about how they're really authentic horchata matched up with like some nice rich rum, aged rum. And this is Guatemala, I think, right? No, Venezuela. How's it taste so far, you two?
Delicious. You gotta get on it.
Really good.
Sorry. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, the margarita is good too. Straight out of the bottle. Almost filled my glass. It might fill a pint glass with enough ice chips.
Billy's really excited about his drink, John.
Is it good?
I like it a lot.
Can I try it?
Yeah, please. I also don't mind sweet, like creamy things with
Yeah,
my
it's
like
good.
spicy food. Or anything really.
Those are yours for this. Oh man.
Brian's bowl.
3 Negronis makes this taste even better.
Oh yeah, it does.
So John, I heard you traveled this week.
Oh yeah, don't tell anyone.
Okay. I won't. We can stop talking about it. So you didn't travel this week. Just say no.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I had to get out of port. I haven't been anywhere in a while.
Do you have any
haven't left
takeaways?
town. Haven't left town since September. I went to Seattle. It's not too far from Portland, but yes, this week I went to Las Vegas.
Hence the margarita bongs. This is why this was in the forefront.
Relevant. Yep.
Relevant.
I didn't have any margarita bongs, but they were in force.
Yeah.
You were the minority in that group.
I just had salsa explode on me.
Is it your heaven? Is that
Yes.
a porno for you?
Probably.
Tars, thanks for sticking around. Yes, the drinks were flowing in Vegas.
As they always are.
That is one place that does not get rid of alcohol. Alcohol stops for no one there.
Thank you.
Actually, Billy. I mean, we had our share of. I didn't have a margarita bong, but equivalent drinks, large format drinks that were good for sipping by the pool and not necessarily as refined as what three of us like to drink.
But they're delicious still.
Right.
I mean, they go down quick.
Yeah, they fit
on a
the
hot day.
mood. I mean, you're not at the swimming pool for the drink per se.
Right.
There's so much else going on, so much heat and atmosphere and you know where
Skin.
what other times can you have drinks in a pool? You know, so
Right, exactly.
No, yeah.
And not only that, but you're encouraged and often offered.
Yeah.
right.
You're like, wow.
So there were those kind of drinks, but nevertheless, I do seek out really good drinks. What are the cocktail bars in Vegas? Not the ones that they're serving you free drinks at the casino. What are the places that are doing fun things still and a few good ones been meaning to share with you, Billy. Actually, you asked for some inspiration. What's out there?
Oh, I can't wait.
As a preview, I had one that was. I swear that I think the primary spirit was Blanc vermouth.
Okay.
I can't recall. I have to look at the ingredients again. But that was the primary flavor. I did not expect. Right? You think of most cocktails being, is it whiskey? Is it vodka? Is it
Right.
gin? Anyway, gotta share that with you sometime.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome in.
Welcome. Well,
What's good?
I have no idea what to say.
That's okay. Do you need anything?
No, I just wanted to hang out here.
Oh, well, thanks.
Let us eat and come back in a second.
Yeah. Bye, Vegas. We're still talking about Vegas. You couldn't relate.
What?
See? Not even close.
Maybe.
I
Uh-oh.
maybe.
John's froze.
John's
No,
froze.
not.
Oh no. Oh, he's
I'm back.
He's just.
I'm back.
He's back.
When does Tate get to tell us about Vegas?
T, what do you think of when you think of Vegas?
He actually could think of something of that.
Wasting money.
Sounds good. Seems probable.
I'm encouraged by that. He got to go to Circus once.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We went to Vegas. Remember?
Oh yeah, we did.
What do you think? What do you think of when you think of Circus?
Roller coaster.
Yeah, that was fun. We had fun.
That
We
was
went on
that was
roller
really
coaster.
fun. When we.
And then anything else?
Not really. No.
I think of
Oh wait,
cigarette smoke.
I think Zoe's calling me.
That's what I think of when I think of Circus.
Wait, was Vegas where you had In-N-Out?
No, because we didn't have the
No,
Arizona.
Where you
We
got?
had the In and Out story. No, that was in Oregon. That was on our way back up. And there's a In and Out in where is that city? It's like right outside of.
Just inside Oregon.
Are
Yeah.
you guys talking about In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
I thought we agreed that to not speak about that.
That's why John brought it up. He knew it wasn't.
He knew the story.
He knew it wasn't
I
good.
brought it up because it's forbidden.
my entire immune system and stomach was just like, oh God, what the frick is this? What the heck?
What did you do?
He's been
What
spoiled
did you
on
do?
PDX
And
sliders
then-
and
and
good
then-
old food like that.
And then it's just like, okay, no, we're getting rid of this. We're getting rid of this as quickly as possible. Send it all down.
Awesome.
Poor guy.
So yeah,
Always leaves an impression.
my best friend lived in Vegas for a while, so the kids and I went down and stayed with her, and we went to Circus. I think that's all we did on the strip, though. And I remember going to Circus as a kid. I don't remember all the cigarette smoke, though. Like, inside the building. Like, it's such a turn-off, like, when you're not used to it, and you, like, walk in, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, what's happening?
Because it used to be everywhere, too. That was the other thing. It was in every restaurant we ate in, and...
Wow.
Some casinos have pledged, no smoke free or whatever, but some you just don't care.
Wait, can you share that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, why should they start caring now? It's not necessarily,
It's not like it's preventing people from going there.
Right.
I mean,
It's a shame, but like at the
Although
same
they're like-
time,
and
I
then,
think
like-
that's the kind of thing that's the kind of thing they sell as far as
Right.
Vegas goes. It's like release all your inhibitions. Who cares if you're a pack a day smoker for the next 6 days? It's all right. It's in Vegas. You go back home, you go back to
Yeah.
normal again.
although, like, if there are ones that have, like,
Right.
declared to be smoke-free, I could choose to go there.
Yeah.
But, well, I don't know.
What if they aren't as fun?
What?
I said, yeah, but what if they aren't as fun? Then you're
I
stuck.
don't know. But then, like, the public health person in me wants to be like, no, they should just ban it everywhere.
Yeah.
But,
Are you happy with your dinner, John?
Oh, very.
right. Most definitely not the biggest sin people indulge in Vegas Star Cards. Not even close.
Right. What did Tate say? Gambling, throwing money away. Yeah, that's not what I go there for. I like the food and drink and the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hot was it when you were there?
Actually, it's the same as it is in Portland now.
Yeah, I was gonna.
70s to 80s.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This is a good time of year. Well, it's not like 110 and you're gonna die.
I think I've been to Vegas during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now is the best time of year to really like indulge and get a little bit of warmth in a place like that before it gets like you have to either drink or get yourself out in the shade every 40 minutes. Everything.
Or live in the pool the entire time. No. So was it like typical Vegas busy or like a little less?
Because of the pandemic?
Yeah.
Is that why you're
That's
asking? It seemed like full Vegas.
Okay. There was like no.
Except, so in the casinos, you're supposed to wear a mask.
Right.
And at tables, people wear masks, and there's like these plexiglass dividers up at, say, like a roulette table.
Okay. Like in between.
So every
people.
person is in their individual. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
They spent money on a ton of new infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean.
But then you're walking around on the strip where there's the most people, and still a lot of people. It seemed normal. It's just the addition of masks, and of course, when you're outdoors, people wearing masks.
Yeah.
Not so enforced.
Right. I can imagine that.
A little bit harder, yeah.
Especially with your bottle margaritas, like how are you gonna drink them?
Right. How am I going to drink this whole thing from here to Luxor?
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You don't let me
if
have
I don't take my
off?
mask off.
True.
See, I like to think that if I had a margarita bong, I was, just taking my mask off to take a sip and then putting my mask back on.
Right, but
Or we've just come up with a brand new necessity of some way to have like a
well, they have
straw.
that already. No, they have like ones with holes in them, and they kind of defeat the whole. Like,
Yeah, doesn't that defeat the whole
There's like
purpose?
a little like flat thing you can like take off. That was like a thing. I saw all kinds of Facebook
No,
ads.
this would be one that like wound through. It's like a straw, like a I'm imagining one of those beer
your
hats.
beer hats, but like a beer mask.
But like,
Like
yeah,
a beer hat.
yeah, but like it's built into a mask and has a straw that just could go into anything you're walking with for Vegas. Hey, anybody hit me up, Shark
Oh,
Tank.
yeah, I forgot
Shark
about those.
Tank.
Bring back the beer hats.
built-in mask into a beer hat. It's like
Look,
a,
I can walk
Except,
around Vegas without getting
Except with
COVID.
margaritas. Yeah.
I mean, we could do it like hiking, like so we could hit a dual market here, right? So we could do like a mask with like a place to hit like a camelback in,
Oh,
and then we could like, but drunks could just use it for booze.
you know they would. We'd have the stainless steel option. But
You
what
heard it
who would
here,
buying
people.
that one?
If you see this on the market, it's because they watch Thirsty Therapy. Tracheotomy mask, yes, they do.
Hey, I'm a Boy Scout. I learned how to do that a long time ago.
With a big-
Don't
with a
worry,
big pen.
Tarts. I always have a pen.
Or Bic pen.
Stainless steel, actually. I like
Wow.
Zebra. They're stainless steel pens. Much more sanitary
Baywatch
for
taught me to use a Bic
tracheotomies.
pen.
I'm real world it here.
I saw a business. What the margarita bongs that you refer to? They often have the logo on them. Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that a Vegas only thing?
Nope.
No.
They had them in Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it felt more recognizable, but
I think it's a like co-opted New Orleans thing. Is what it is. It's like a co-op. Like it started there for like Mardi Gras, and then it like got co-opted by all the other places.
It's like a Dave and Buster's without games.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's the restaurant, but I don't think that's specifically what this is referring to. But
so the new one I saw, it's like the off-brand Fat Tuesday with the the swirly machines and the bongs, but it didn't say Fat Tuesday. It just said one word, daiquiri. And I was very offended.
you were, because that was what.
Fuck you! That's not a daiquiri. How dare you?
Yeah.
Because now I have to explain, because of that imagery, I have to explain to all my friends, when I order a daiquiri in a bar with them, pre-pandemic,
Yeah.
they get stunned like, what? Like a thing in Vegas? I don't think they even have a blender here.
Right.
You're like, no. No.
No.
They shouldn't need
They
that.
stole
No
the
worries.
real daiquiri. This is not the other way around.
This is not.
I'm sorry, sir. We do not have a blender here.
This is not Bacardi's strawberry daiquiri blend, like can.
Yeah. The can.
Oh, my aunts used to love that when I was a little kid.
Yeah, or like wine coolers.
That and the pina
flavored wine
colada,
coolers.
the frozen. No, the frozen. They came like frozen
Oh, in a
concentrated
can?
orange juice. Yeah.
And then you like added like booze to it.
Yeah. It is strawberry daiquiri. Just add white rum, and they had a pina colada. Just add. Oh, so far from the truth.
Like all concentrate garbage. Yeah.
Sugar and coconut flavor.
Right.
John, what? You happy with your margarita though?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was tasty.
Nice. Happy to support a fantastic place.
Yeah.
I'm really loving my.
So
bowl.
we all got the Brian's bowl, which is what, rice, beans, protein,
Yep.
several sauces.
Most important part.
What? But with a choice of tortilla or chips.
So
We always do tortilla.
we do tortillas, but then we order chips. Like we always get chips outside of it because like we want both.
But their corn, their handmade corn tortillas are awesome. So
Yeah.
they're too good to pass up.
Interesting. I always get chips, no matter what.
Yeah. Because
I
the dipping,
love-
so we do both because we can't decide. Because we make little tacos out of
Nice,
ours, and then
okay.
we do like the dip, like you're doing, like I
Right.
see you're doing. That's our jam too.
But this is one of the few places that prize their own chips with their tortillas and their tortilla consistency. Man,
They
that
do.
we could go through. We could polish away.
Because they were unlimited when you went into the.
Well, not,
remember
they were $1.
Oh, it was
a
$1 at
per
refills, and you got to
refill
skip the
basket.
line.
Yeah. So we might have gotten like 4 or 5 baskets of chips.
And then you bring some home. You always go get
Oh,
more
you get
for
one more
$1,
before
and
you
then
go
bring it
and
home.
bring them home because they'll heat up great the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Just one more hit fix of that delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. It's like it's a lot of work for people to do, but if you learn how to do it right and quick and efficiently, like it's they do it right.
They totally do. I have an enlarged taste bud. I don't know what it's from.
Uh-oh.
You know.
The margarita.
Or my, like, plethora of sauces.
That one's a lot spicier than I remember.
Oh, that one was always spicy. This is the this is the one that you like. And this one looks like the one we get at La Real, but it's not spicy. Like, it's not as spicy.
Thank you for reminding me. I thought that one was pretty spicy.
This is the spiciest one. The Serrano is.
I swear La Real has a bunch of other locations. John, do you have a La Real by you?
No, they just opened a brick and mortar that. And then they have like a. Well, they're supposed to be open.
Never mind, John. I was trying to talk. See ya. Bree's got it on.
So we have a cart by us called La Real, and they're trying to open. They're great. They're really sweet and like a family. It's like a family-run cart, and they're opening. Before the pandemic, they were trying to open like a menudo kind of like more like like that style of like brick and mortar. And I don't know if that happened. And then they had like a whole set of. They make like freshly made like Mexican like candy, like chili powdered fruit, and like it's really yummy.
Huh?
Hi.
Hey, love. How are you?
What are you doing?
You know, one thing I'm thinking about is adding a little bit of this
Oh
salt,
yeah, a little spicy.
spicy
You
salt
want to try a
to
little
my
horchata?
Okay.
horchata. Not this horchata, but you can try some of the other horchata. Hold on.
That horchata has alcohol in it. But Daddy saved you some.
But I saved you some right off the top. A little bit of that, but you have to share it with your brother.
Yeah.
It might not
Well,
be.
I actually can't because he's brushing his teeth.
Oh,
Wait,
are we
why?
getting ready for dinner? Or for dinner, for bed? I can't talk.
So you
Yeah.
wanna-
He's getting ready for bed.
Love it.
What?
Responsible kid.
He's getting ready for bed.
It's almost 9 o'clock. He's being a good kid.
Who are these kids? Who are you?
Good kids. How's that taste?
Robot.
You like it? I poured it off right off the top so it didn't get any
Alcohol?
grits in it.
No, just
no, like
grits.
the sediment.
This one they use like whole ground almonds and they don't strain it like Mommy does, so it's got a little bit of stuff in the bottom.
Mommy doesn't either right now. We're out of cheesecloth, John. I've never felt so naked.
Man, there's a cheesecloth for
I've had cheesecloth. I've been lucky enough that every restaurant I worked at, they've always let me they've bought in a whole let me buy a whole full huge restaurant size of cheesecloth, and I've never run out because I've never not been at a restaurant this long.
Baby.
So I'm gonna have to find the supplier, who they get it from.
Tippy tips tips.
Here you go.
They're good. All right. Yeah, go ahead and you can have some guac. I forgot you like guac.
You silly head.
Silly head.
Is it good? You like the guac?
Quite large.
I am a turtle that is large.
Johnny, you happy?
So happy.
I'm
John's like
so
extra
good.
quiet. He's so happy. He's like, yes.
I know. I'm pretty chill, to be
I
honest.
should warn you, the mark of my happiness is, and also may I add, the mark of a good restaurant is not people being laughy and, joyous and boisterous. It's them being quiet, heads down, and meat.
Focused on their food.
Yeah.
I understand.
One of those is not a truly good restaurant. One of them is maybe experience, and the latter one is this place serves good food.
Right. Sometimes it just catches you whether you want it to or not, right? You're like, this is too... I just can't talk right now. I gotta eat.
Yeah, keep eating. It's delicious.
So, forgive me. I'm in this Brian's bowl right now.
No, don't be forgiven at all. I was just wondering what you thought. Do you think we disappoint anybody if we didn't make it all the way till 10 tonight? Because of our happy
Oh my gosh,
because of our happy
You're
contentment.
okay. Are you okay?
I think we could tighten it up and end a little early.
Agreed.
I feel like we're all on that right now. Even everybody joining us.
Yeah, everybody's like,
We've promised nothing for this section, so
Sure.
Did Pegasus touch you?
no, I touched myself.
unless there was some unresolved like Sue's Negroni or something.
Oh my gosh, I can't have another Negroni.
No, I can't have any more booze.
I'm like, I'm done.
No, but I would like to reestablish a non-Negroni night.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard me.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
A non-Negroni. A non-Negroni night.
That's what she said. Exactly. I'm with her.
I like that sentence. Well, what does it mean?
Well, I suppose technically they'd still be Negronis based on our epitaph, or our not epitaphs. Our help me out. I'm
I
very
don't know.
bad with
It
words,
works.
John.
Epithet.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay. I was kind
You
of
were
close.
close.
We've got these epithets at the bottom of the
Right.
screen.
Please don't wipe your
Um,
The 3 parts of a Negroni.
Right. So technically, our non-Negronis would still be considered Negronis because they would be spanning these 3 parts. They'd be spanning the aromatized or fortified wine with the vermouth, some sort of vermouth. They'd be the bitter with some sort of bittering agent, and they'd be the spirit with some sort of spirit. We could probably even stick with Boulivardier and Negroni styles. But how great would they be if we could use, Suze as our bittering agent for one. Yeah, and then one of the clear aperitivos and our local New Deal distillery for the third.
Just noticed something in there pretty well.
And see, we'd have to. John, you and I would be taking. It would be the hardest for us because we would be taking time to
Like a
research
couple
what
more flavors, but
flavors
there
better
is no more
fit
stamps
each one of
in
these,
the world.
right?
Look how we didn't get to do that.
Like, we could get-
That.
Like we could.
These are
get
completely
down-
new drinks. The ratios
Right now.
could be close, but not quite. A lot of experimentation to do, you mean?
Yeah. Because we could leave it open. We could try a lemon on one of them, depending, especially something with a little bit more of a lavender herbaceousness to it.
Right.
Yeah, I think it could lend us to a little bit more. We had that grassy aperitivo, which I'm gonna find out. It's French, and I have it in my phone somewhere.
I am curious about that one.
Yeah.
Can't believe neither of us could think of it.
It's driving me nuts. I know that I'll be able to find it. Dave Chanel always had it in his bar and Raven and Rose, and I appreciate being able to taste it there and play with it a little bit more. Welcome Punta Mesco in. I need more of that. I'm a fan of that. I love Punta Mes in my Black Manhattans, I won't lie, but we could probably what if we did, John, here's a new spin-off, right? You'd have that. We could put the Punta Mes with Amaros and darks. We'd have dark flavors like that and then light flavors. Because then we could try your Chinar instead of Campari. One that you've been talking about, right?
Or Verna.
Or Verna.
Verna is kind of my go-to Italian bitter. I don't have... Or Amaro. I don't have any of it right now.
Oh, I think I'm out too. That's funny. But it does work. It's pretty smooth.
Oh. You notice all this this booze piled on my table here earlier. It's out of frame, but we had a tasting. And this, you had this one?
We can see that.
Yeah, you can see it well.
Zucca Rabarbaro. I have a lot of trouble pronouncing that, but it's an Amaro with rhubarb.
Oh my god, now we got a whole nother one. We could do one with, because there's Cardamaro too.
Oh, yes.
There's a Pacific Northwest made tomorrow too.
Yeah, they have some new ones coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm lucky, I'd like to try my hand in that too someday.
So I tried this in a Black Manhattan. It's pretty good. Very drying, so you need a kind of a brighter whiskey. But if you get that together, yeah, it's a fantastic drink.
What whiskey did you try?
Dickel.
Nice bright rye. Yeah. Spice.
I think it worked. I think the two played off each other because this wouldn't normally be my go-to by itself. It's very drying by itself. I'll happily drink it.
But rhubarb is.
But I like a little sweet.
Yeah.
So that's why those two things played well together. It's funny that the Dickel rye adding an element of sweetness to the drink. Go figure.
Isn't that funny how it can do that, with its spice blend?
Yeah.
That's still American, so it's got a good amount of corn in it, I believe, too. So that's always going to add that great sweetness.
But versus the one I normally go to is Rittenhouse rye.
Nice and rich.
I didn't try it, but probably wouldn't have gone as well with this. It would have been maybe too dry.
Too dark, you think, or too rich?
Too dark, yeah.
It could have been.
I don't know. Then again, I like a little sweet, so.
Well, I like your idea of contrast and brightening up the bitter. Amari night, perfect. I think we should do it, Tarts.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Plus, like Bree said, there's so many new Amaris and Amaros that are coming out of our area. So I'd love to talk about. It's funny, John. As much as I want to try and focus on all our little places as much, featuring all our little local craft distilleries as much as we can. I feel like everybody knows about the rest. Everybody settles into those, especially in it seems like in the pandemic, especially too. It's hard to take a chance on something if you're going to the liquor store sometimes and you're just not sure what it's going to taste like. So some of those build on reputation and they build on you going to a tasting room, but don't necessarily it's a hard random act for you to stumble on a new spirit. You know what I mean? If a bartender doesn't present you with it, or somebody, there isn't a reason for it.
Right.
So why not? We'll see what we can do to make us that reason. See who we can talk about. Because there's so many. Not only were there so many before the pandemic, but I feel like there's even more. Now we know about River Rain. We know about, like, there's all these other dry gins that are coming out, utilizing the fantastic botanicals that we have up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing the format of today's 3 cocktails, 3 riffs on a Negroni. But then with Amari, it's like, well, do we do the first 2 Italian, but then which 2, and then we want to do a Pacific Northwest one? It's like, do we need to expand this to like 7 mini cocktails so we can get 4 Italians and 3 American ones, local ones?
Ooh, that's a good point. What if we just focus on an Italian night and then because that's where it started, right? I mean, pay homage, and then you could do a full local night following to just really accentuate those spirits. They'd also be sharper in our brains about it too, so that we would be able to compare and contrast a little more accurately.
Yeah,
I think that could be a ton of fun.
it's like pick any major spirit. You could probably find 7 different bottles of that spirit. Pick any one, and you can curate a selection that's just wildly different. Here in America, bourbon, right? There's probably 7 different bourbons that will taste noticeably different and be fun to taste. It'd be a wild night, though.
That's why I think we should split it up into a couple.
You may be right.
I could easily see that being a much more manageable frame for us.
So how did you think? What did you think of the food?
I loved my food. I thought it was really, really good. And I made some tacos and ate it just on the chips. How about you? What did you think of the food?
I thought it was pretty good. I just had like I ate rice and
Carne asada.
I just ate rice and carne asada with a fork in a bowl, and it was actually pretty good. The rice was like the rice had like a good texture, a good taste. So there was something about it that I didn't quite like, but something that like wasn't not enough of something, but I don't really know. But the meat was okay. The meat was okay.
Yeah, I agree. John and I were talking about how much we
Really like that carne asada, yeah. I'm going to get that from now on.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Porque No, really famous Portland. I almost said chain because they have, 2 or 3 locations? But they're only in Portland.
John, I know you just got done saying something. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah.
I can't hear you right now for some reason. And I know it's not your headphones because I know you have a mic. I'm not sure if our guests can hear you, though, like everybody that's out there. But I just know I can't hear you right now. All of a sudden.
Weird.
It's totally weird. My headphones could have gone out, too. I just knew I could follow your lips and knew like where you were pausing and where you weren't.
I knew I was enjoying some delicious chili salt.
I'll push forward and see.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's you, John. Never mind. I didn't realize you were doing that side too. I'm glad you can still hear me, though. Maybe it's just my hair.
I can hear you.
Well done.
And my Skype is coming through. I don't know what that's about. Hello? Am I all alone? Licking tahini all by myself? Wait, I can say anything I want to about Billy, and they won't know.
So Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
I'll, of course, edit this part out in post-production. They won't know the horrible things I said about them.
I could see John being done
Yeah, like the AirPods are still connected.
talking, but I can't hear him.
I wonder if the stream.
As far as we know, it's still coming through the stream.
Can you hear us?
He can hear us, or he could a minute ago. Yep, he can
Weird.
still hear us.
We cannot hear
Can
John.
you see us?
Yeah.
And he can even hear you, Zoe. So
I can't wait to catch them on.
Hey,
Catch them up on what I was saying.
Tartarts can hear both sides.
Whoa, that's so. Thank you, Tarts. Well, now I can hear something.
Tartars, don't tell them what I was saying.
Whoa, John, I can kind of hear you, but it sounds like your Mike has Tourette's. It's like, or maybe it's. Oh, how about now? Talk.
That does happen sometimes. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. It was your microphone was mating with a Wookiee there for a minute.
Right. It'll do that. So to catch you up, I was just saying how I was going to kill you slowly.
Oh, that sounds about right. Are we married?
What?
Sorry, I thought I heard that before.
What did you say? What
Though he
did
didn't
you
hear me,
say?
right?
Did you say, are we married?
Yeah.
You're
I'm married to her, huh?
Yeah, you can't be married to two people at once.
You're right, I totally can't be. How's this season? He was a joke Tarts might have got out there.
I was just licking the heat.
It's so good, huh?
Can it be its own? Why is it? Why is it so good?
Well, thank goodness you got one for tomorrow. I love that. That was smart. Super smart.
What's going on your end? Did you finish your meals?
I'm almost there. I'm always eating slow and talking fast. I got a lot going on. It's a party. Speaking of which, you already heard everybody's getting ready for bed already.
Well, Tate is.
He's getting ready because he wants to be able to watch a show with all of us and be already ready for bed, so that there's no excuse.
Oh my god, I love it. Responsibility. Well, all the things we've learned in the year of COVID.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't all go out the window.
No, we're doing all that we can to ensure that it doesn't. So, if it does, it'll be on us.
What will be on us?
If all of our good habits go
Hopefully
out the
all my
window.
excessive drinking doesn't go out the window.
I know. And then your liver goes, hopefully not. But then I think the same thing. So I'm like, yeah, well. In fact, let's be honest. Even my excessive drinking in COVID is probably muted to working at a bar 60 hours a week. Where you like need so much caffeine to keep you up for so many hours, and then you know you have to fall asleep for at least 6 hours or 4 hours for the next little while, and maybe 5 drinks help you get there. Maybe it's 7. I don't know.
You missed that at all?
No. I missed the part about literally just being what we talked about, literally serving folks and just being good to them. But I don't miss the culture of killing yourself or not really wanting it or not really loving what you're doing, because I've met people who really don't love it and still are expected to kill themselves. And yeah, it's just a different. I think there is a lot that has come out in the last year, a lot that we already knew, but I think people are talking about a lot more now in the restaurant culture, and I hope that it translates into a healthier work environment, because I think it takes a certain skill set and a certain personality to be able to pull it off and do it well and do it right.
Do you think there's a way to, COVID kind of burning things down? Imagine you can start over. Something you would do differently?
A couple things I think that I've thought of having to, not necessarily having to do with COVID, but having to do with all the things that have surrounded our last year. I think when you and I touch base on some of the etiquette rules that were kind of just like clearly laid out for places like PDT in New York, and they're kind of guidelines and they're kind of tongue-in-cheek and funny, but like the idea that like setting so I've always said that my job is to manage people's expectations, and doing that well makes people feel really good, and they're able to deal with changes, and they're able to deal with their food taking 20 minutes longer than they planned on, or than any of us thought it would, or whatever things happen. We need to be adaptable, and if you set the stage for that ahead of time, people can deal with that, with adapting to new situations really, really well. And I think with that being said, I would like to move forward with every restaurant or any place that I was involved with having some sort of like expectations for the guests and how they interact with the people that work there, as well as vice versa. Because while I 100% believe in being in that servitude portion of it, like that, like taking 100% genuinely taking great care of somebody and really putting your heart and everything into that hospitality, I think that is exploited and taken advantage of by the wrong kind of people. The right kind of people don't do it. They're very appreciative of it and they're kind. But there's always going to be somebody.
Are you talking about guests, or are you talking about managers?
Guests. Guests. Managers as well, I guess, but I'm more talking about like guests.
Okay.
I think that if people in general, I think because that trickles up to management and things like that, managers will try and smooth over situations at the bereavement of their and really undercut their employees that are high performers and strong at what they do, just to appease an asshole in a moment. When, hey, guess what? We already said that we don't expect you to talk to our like servers this way, or like have some sort of like very light, but yet enforceable and turn to standards of just how people interact and treat one another. It's kind of like what you and I talked about, having like a nice way of, or having a way of diffusing a situation, but also confronting somebody for being like very bigoted to one of your servers or one of the people that you work with. I think that people genuinely want to do the right thing if they're given all the like if they're given like rules ahead of time. And if they don't, hey, if you don't want to abide by these rules, you don't have to be here. We choose not to serve you. We choose not to. And they're very clearly spelled out right then and there. Then no one can say that you're discriminating against them because of any one thing or any, it's just, and it's funny I say that discriminating against, because I think of like a loud, angry person who isn't discriminated against very often using that as an excuse. Because I've had it happen. I've had more privileged white folks say that they're being discriminated against because you're asking them to follow rules that everyone has to, than I ever would have had anybody else. So like those are the folks that like come to the forefront of my mind. But it doesn't have to just be them. And yes, people being like having their humanity, people being much more gracious overall. I hope that that's the case, and I hope that stays around, that humanity and that kindness, because there was a certain part of that John, we were pushed to believe that we didn't deserve to have a certain kind of humanity when it comes to taking care of guests. Does that make sense? Now, I don't necessarily want to, like, I don't want to say that, like, you couldn't be human and have a human connection. And I also don't want to say, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people bring all their problems to work with them. Like, I get it if you're having a bad day, like, maybe today's not the day you work, and we have to have somebody who doesn't have so much going on cover that shift, because that's not necessarily the guest's problem to deal with. When they've saved up to have a nice night out. That's totally understandable and avoidable. Yeah. I kind of lost my train of thought on that, but does that make sense? A little bit, in a small way?
What can we do? What will be the next iteration of restaurants? It's not. You're right. COVID isn't changing things. It's just It's the opportunity to reflect. What would you do going forward?
Right. And I think like having literal guidelines laid out for people on how we expect everyone to act within this place just makes it easy. It's kind of like with everybody. Like to have some clear standards that I need to abide by make it easier for me to fit into a situation like that. So, and it's a base level for respect for everybody at that point walking in. Kind of like the mask thing, right? Like, cool, you can make a huge big deal about it, but like you're the asshole here. Like everybody else is trying their best to make this work, and they're wearing their masks and doing all this other stuff to try and make some sort of semblance of normalcy, and by you just refusing that and you're just interrupting all that, while and at the same time saying that you really want it to just everything to be normal. When then it could take a little effort, just a little bit of effort by everybody to make that a reality. Instead, you refusing to even put forth a little bit of effort just makes it worse for yourself and everybody else surrounding you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope that's the case. And like we said, like having straight, like I'm trying to help develop like some good conversation where you can walk up to be like, hey, I'm not sure if you were trying, like if you were just kind of ignorant to how you talk, or if you were genuinely trying to be a racist to this server, but we don't want you to talk, like that's just not going to be accepted here. So you can either apologize to the server and we can all try and have a genuine moment without having anything else like this. Or you can leave right now. Oh, well, how could you're discriminating. No, the rules are right there. Like, it's really clear. We don't allow anybody shitting on anybody else, or however you end up wording it. But I think that it's really important that we do that, because I've had some of my managers and other people be the first person to talk down to about a guest, and yeah, it's about an overall humanity and treating each other a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of, John, to be honest, is like reinforcing it. Like positive reinforcement, I feel like, is the only true way for people to see that, like, because you're always going to have somebody who doesn't want to adhere to that and doesn't want to, like, and wants to be the instigator, the antagonist, the contrarian to that, and you can't stop that. But let them be the odd man out then. Let them be, or the odd person, like, let them show their true colors.
Yeah. Maybe the hospitality industry got a little too lax, saying, the customer, you know that phrase, the customer's always right?
Yeah.
I get it. I'm very patient with people, and I would probably let the same thing happen. But what might be cooler is enforcing a set of rules that, what's okay at this place. So Tartar's commented on this. I saw this in my business as well. Lots of people are great in general, but after COVID, people were much more understanding about the humanity present. how do we, that's great. Again, this is a reminder, this whole time of reflection. How do we keep that going forward?
Right. I think it's about dignity for all and supremacy for none. Like, to be honest, I think that's like, everybody deserves some sort of base of dignity. Like
that.
And no one, I've never in my life, it blows me the fuck away to like ever, I've never been able to fathom that I am better than somebody based on one attribute, because I know that one attribute can't carry me throughout life. For every one attribute I might be excelling at, I fall short of in several others, and I think that is a balance of the great human machine that we are. You can't be perfect at everything. We were never meant to be.
So you are worthy of good drinks and blank.
Respect.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah. Respect, dignity. I think those are the best. Those are the two best things that we can have. Because when you have those, you don't feel like you got to take anything else from anyone.
Nice.
I hope. That's the only thing I got anymore. Is that hope for seeing, especially as often as we see, you know, all the mass shootings that we see and all the anger that we see. And I know that there's hope in humanity because there's beauty in humanity. The idea that we can make these connections with other human beings and other strangers. Tarts, the fact that we can know what you're feeling and what you're thinking, and we're, I don't know how many miles away from one another. Like, there's a true connection there that is harder to fight against than it is to just go with. So everybody's got to stop fighting and thinking that they're better than somebody based on some stupid arbitrary, like, box that they want to get put in, and start just dealing with the fact that we're all a little great and we're all a little fucked up, and we can all just get through this together and better together than we can with this stupid rugged individualism bullshit. Because I've watched many seasons of The Walking Dead, and I know by now that I cannot make it all by myself in a tank or anywhere. Like, I need at least 2 more people. Hopefully one of them has a fucking samurai sword. But really, the rest of it's bullshit. If we just trap ourselves in this stupid cycle of garbage, when really we could just have a good time being together. And I can't wait for that. Like, I really can't wait for people. You know, John, you and I are scholars of history, and everyone has been speculating on the idea of, like, the Roaring 20s came right after the flu pandemic, and maybe that's going to be something. I don't give a shit whether it's that kind of amount of spending or ludicrous indulgence of living. But I hope that it makes people want to, like, be together and see each other more than and connect with one another more than it does, like, having a fucking Hollywood Hills pool filled with gin swimming in it. Like, yeah, great. But are there a bunch of people sitting around actually, like, having a connection with one another, like, around this pool of gin? Maybe they have big straws. I don't know.
Let's have some connection.
Right?
That's nice. Yes.
I think it's all we can ask for. I've always said it. As long as you've known me, John, I think it's the only thing we're here for.
Right?
All the rest is arbitrary, depending on where you were born.
I see that more and more as I get older. That's why I sought out the likes of you. That's why we're friends.
I'm so glad you did. It's important for that. There is enough room in that straw for all of us. Yeah. We'd each have a straw if we were around that pool. We'd be like laying in loungers talking about how the you can barely taste the botanicals above the chlorine.
Sometimes there's so many great quotes in our stream. I wish they could be, the show title or the clip title. Yeah, the big straw theory is pretty good. Also, I like just a few minutes ago. Wait, what? They have a tracheotomy mask?
I saw that one too.
That's a great quote to be taken out of context and immortalized in a yeah.
I love it. Oh.
All right.
I've had a good time. What do you think? You ready to sign off?
Yeah.
Me
yeah.
too.
Let's wrap up.
All right.
What happened to the rest of the fam? Too responsible, going to bed early. Where's Bree the Spirited?
Right? I think Bree the Spirited is Bree the book reading right now. Going down. If Zoe had a choice between Bree and I and reading a book at the end of the night, it's always going to be Mommy. Mommy's a way better cuddler than Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet that's where they are if they're getting it. Or Tate talked everybody into having, because it is Saturday. Bree was spirited away. You know it, Tart
Bree was spirited away. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, or Tate talked him into all watching a show. So who knows? I might go back there and it's a Saturday Night Live playing.
It's Rick and Morty.
Yeah, not yet. Oh, I can't wait for that day, but I feel like I gotta wait a couple more years for him to lead him into that. Didn't we? Have I ever told you my theory when the co-creators of that both are like, please don't let your kids watch this? I was like, all right, I better wait a few more years.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, man. Everybody, Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was awesome. Tarts, thank you for being here. Everyone else who joined us.
Taking it out to the end.
You know it. We're all going to be spirited away now.
Thank you all. Let's all get spirited away.
Right? All right, John, you
all
got
right.
us?
Yeah.
Bye.